actually want to
Yeah.
thank you, bro. Like respect. Like respect for everyone here. Respect for everyone that came on here and took time out of the day to, well, one, to actually teach, and to also those that came here to be taught, basically, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
bro, I have so much to like thank you guys for. Like Gideon, like your story arc for like what you used to do and where you are now is honestly just straight up, bro, respect. And like all the mods here are also like
Thank
so nice
God.
too. Like all the mods here are so nice too. And bro, Josh, like bro, I hope the best for you. Like I really hope the best for you. Like when I went on here, okay, and I started listening to you, I talk about the Jewish tradition. I was like, wait, people like this exist, and people actually exist that know that our Heavenly Father like loves it when we observe his like traditions, and when people don't observe the satanic ones, right? Because I tell like
Mhm.
because basically I'm from I'm from the country of Georgia, and people there are like or like they are Orthodox Christian, and when I tell people, hey, I observe the high Sabbaths, they're like, oh no, that was the Old Testament. No, no, this. Oh no, that. And they basically like I often get like condemnation from people on my country. They're calling me like a Jehovah's Witness, or they're calling me like they're putting like really bad labels on me. Often like really criticizing me, being aggressive towards me when I share things. And when I when I tell them like, hey, these are like the traditions you observe are demonic, and then people don't like hearing the truth, right? So I just like I want to thank you, Josh, for this sermon. I want to thank you for all the hard work you put in to like share this with me, because this actually gave me a ton of hope. This gave me a hope that like there are people out there that genuinely care about the truth and genuinely want to make the Heavenly Father happy, and
Yeah.
they actually have a mindset on what is above instead of what is below. I just want to thank
Mhm.
you, all of you, for that. But I just wanted to ask, like, can I share my testimony on last year when I did a Yom Kippur fast and what the Holy Father did in my life?
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, this is like my quick story of like in the Bible it says in Jeremiah 29 verse 13 that and ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart. And what I was going for was I was basically going through serious health problems, and I went to like
Mm.
one doctor, a second doctor, a third doctor, and all of them had failed to help. So I had to, and even my family members, they could not help. No one I knew could help, so I had to start learning medicine on my own. So I started like learning medicine on my own, trying to save my own life, and I was making a bit of progress, but it was really
Mm.
just not enough. So even medicine was not enough, so I had to start learning other things, other areas, even world history, this, that. I was trying to get anything from anywhere just to save my life in any way I could. But the more I learned, even how complex our world is, even how complex our body is. Like our body is like so extremely complex that the more I learned, the more I realized that we had to be a creation. Like there had to be a creator. Like the more I learned about how everything works, the more I realized that this is not some like coincidence, that this we are actually a creation. And I started to believe that there was genuinely a creator. So when I basically I could tell that I was dying and nothing was helping enough, I basically cried out to the Heavenly Father and I asked him to let me live. And things started happening in my life where I could tell that I was being led in a supernatural manner, where I will discover things about health that really, really was helping, and I started to get better and better, and I realized I was genuinely starting to have a relationship with my creator, and I thought I'm like, well, I know I'm being led, and I know there's a creator, so what if he created me? So what if he also wants a relationship with me? And then I learned about like really going into Christianity, and I really got into just like really got into Christianity, but like I just genuinely started to desire to like know him. I basically asked him from my heart to get to know him and get to like just know who he is and to have a relationship with him. Because I thought like he created me, so he must want a. What if he just wants a relationship with me? Like what if he wants a
Mm-hmm.
relationship? And I basically how it says Jeremiah also said this, right? And he shall seek me and find me when he shall search for me with all your heart. And what this is to do with Yom Kippur is that I wanted to know like what is truth about him, like what is actually true about him, right? So I basically asked them for truth about him to give me divine revelation, so I get to like have a proper relationship with my creator. As you can't really have a relationship with someone you don't understand, so I wanted to fully understand him
Mm-hmm.
genuinely from my heart, so I could genuinely please him and make him happy. So after I asked him for a relationship, he actually led me to a website of a PhD engineer that's been like walking very closely with him for like 30 years. And this individual said how like if we love the Heavenly Father, we are to observe his high Sabbaths. And like this individual was like so like logical, so rational in his explanations and the things he was talking about that like I started to like believe what he was saying. And so I chose to observe Yom Kippur. And so what I did was I did a dry fast. I confessed my sins. I took like wine and bread and wine. The blood being the blood of the Son of Heavenly Father, and the bread being his body. And I basically confessed my sins. I really repented. I got through a lot of like deliverance. And by the end of the day, I called my cousin on this like Yom Kippur fast when I was seriously repenting and turning to the Heavenly Father. And my cousin, who is actually a servant of the Heavenly Father, said that she had a dream where she basically like during Yom Kippur she went to sleep, and when she had a dream where the Son of Heavenly Father basically like opened up his arms to me, and I was like going up to the kingdom of heaven, and how like things were happening supernaturally in that day, and like
Mm-hmm.
she had this vision and this dream of like the Son of Heavenly Father just like opening his arms to me and like accepting me into heaven when I did this like dry fast and like really repenting, um, with like his shed blood on this day, and like I was so happy, like I was genuinely so happy. I also had like
Mm.
experiences where like I was worshiping the Heavenly Father, and I felt this like presence come upon me, and like this presence just came upon me, and it's like I sank to the floor in ecstasy. Like I sank, like a set apart spirit, the Holy Spirit just came upon me, and I sank to the floor in joy, just like feeling like I was in heaven. It was like such a profound experience. And what I actually
You,
discovered, like,
you said
go
it
ahead.
was a year ago? How long ago you said it was? A year?
Yeah, it was the last Yom Kippur, like a year ago, and ever since
Oh,
then
okay.
I've basically singing him, singing to be filled with the Spirit, singing to be like basically a like just filled with the Holy Spirit. And like one of the things that I've discovered is that the Heavenly Father actually has a high calling for everyone's life, and that he genuinely wants a really close relationship with him, because he's actually been working in like miraculous ways in my life, not because of who I am, but because of who he is. Because I've been genuinely seeking him with all my heart. He is basically the Bible says that draw near to me, and I will draw near to you. And because I drew so
Mm-hmm.
near with all my heart, he's been like really working in miraculous ways for my life. And what he wants like all of you to know is that he loves all of you, and he has a high calling and a purpose for all of your lives. Like one of Satan's biggest lies and deceptions is that Satan deceives people that the gifts of the Spirit, the gifts of the Holy Spirit, were of the past. What I'm here to tell you is that the gifts of the Spirit is for today. Like he's actually been working like miracles in my life, and like genuinely, he wants to work miracles in all of your lives. Like if you genuinely seek him with all your
Praise
heart, you
God.
will find him.
Praise God, Cocky. And when I first saw your name, I don't know if you know about anime or whatever. First thing came
Bro,
to mind was Akatsuki from Naruto.
bro,
When I first saw your name,
people keep saying it sounds like a Japanese name.
right? Are you Asian?
People keep asking that. No, I'm from Georgia. I'm from
Okay,
I'm from the country of Georgia.
the country of Georgia. There's a Georgia
Indeed.
country.
Yes, it's a Orthodox Christian country, but
Oh, okay.
I'm not actually Christian. For me, it's more about just seeking the Heavenly Father and seeking all His truths, regardless of religion. But I do
Well,
actually believe that. But I do actually
y'all just
believe
made me
that.
feel. They just made me feel stupid. I didn't even know there was a country of Georgia. You know, I'm in Georgia in the United States, the state of Georgia. So I didn't even know that. I gotta work on my geography.
Fair enough.
You
I
know
respect
what I'm saying?
the humility to answer to like say that.
Right. But appreciate it, Akaki. And that was a powerful testimony. And it just shows relevance to everything that we got going on that happened today. Um, with the whole Day of Atonement thing, somebody trying to hack and trying to stop the class. That was rude about it. That was weird about it. You know what I'm saying? They tried to stop the class. You know what I'm saying? They weren't really like degenerates like some of the stuff we get. It's just like their main purpose was just like trying to stop this from getting out. That's what made this one weird. You follow what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I gotta get to my guy Kev of the Dust first, Dusty but clean, who understands humility. Go ahead, Kev of the Dust.
Peace to everybody here. Blessed to be obviously, with y'all for another Sabbath. Um, yeah, Josh, this is like Jeff said, it's a great class that you did with a
Praise
different
God.
always, man, with like a different A.B.T style spin. And I say that because my wife and I we started going to this local church, just to try to get the kids in an environment where there's other believers, right? Now, we knew because we said this going in, the likelihood that we're going to find a physical church on the level of A.B.T is going to be slim to absolute none, right? And that ended up being the case. And I'm saying this because today they gave a lesson on atonement. And
Mm-hmm.
quite honestly, I was bored, right? I was bored because it was basic and the class was not airtight whatsoever, right? And the speaker started out by saying that we're all commanded to be here, right? Like meaning because this is the Day of Atonement, we are commanded to have a holy convocation, we are commanded to fast, right?
At
And
his building.
well, just anywhere. But
Right.
it just so happened to be that building, but it could have been any building. The point being that he is of the belief that we are commanded and as modern day people supposed to be keeping the Day of Atonement as well as every other holy day because they will be somewhere in Texas next what week for the Feast of
Mm-hmm.
Tabernacles, right?
Right. The
So I
15th
made
day.
exactly. So I made the decision. I said to my wife a long time ago, "Hey, listen, whatever church we decide to try to expose our kids to, I'm gonna chill in the cut, man. Like for real. Like I'm not gonna be loud. I'm not gonna be adversarial. Like I'm older now. You know what I mean? So like those days are kind of behind me. That's how I feel about it. Um, but the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I'm
Welcome to the
bringing this
club.
for real, man, about to be 40 next year, so it's a different kind of life now. But the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I bring this up is because the older I get, the more the more focused I become on God's ways, right? And I love the fact that you went to I think it was Jeremiah chapter 14, 11 through 12, and Isaiah 51
Mm-hmm.
through 12. I believe you went there. I believe you went that deep into the chapter because that
It
to
was
me, that's
50.
pardon?
You said Isaiah?
Yeah, Isaiah 58, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So like the reason why though I really like all the other all the other scriptures you went to obviously were timely, but that those two scriptures really tied a bow in my opinion on this class because that's truly what humility is about, right? And I love the way that you broke it. Like you can fast all day, right? But if you haven't changed your heart and you're still practicing wickedness, then your fasts are worthless, right? We
Mm-hmm.
have practice righteousness and righteousness according to how the Bible defines it. And that gets to my main point here. I
Mm.
see and hear a lot of people who claim to be keeping God's law stress the importance of it until we start talking about these holy days, right? And with all due respect to Akaki, I appreciate his testimony, but he sounds like one of these people who believes that we are supposed to be keeping the holy days, and in this case, atonement. The reason why I have such a problem with that thinking is because one, and I'm not saying Akaki thinks this way, but he's representative of a lot of people I've heard on the law keeping side say or speak on this matter. They will say to a Sunday goer that, hey, Jesus said, not one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass or all the law be fulfilled. So therefore, you're supposed to be keeping the dietary laws and the Sabbath. Yet when that logic gets turned around on them, somehow us Sabbath keepers aren't so airtight on the law. And I'll give you as far as atonement is concerned. And Keanu kind of, really brought this up, what I was going to bring up anyway. But in case anybody is unclear, you can not only can you not keep the Day of Atonement today, I would argue attempting to do so is sinful. And here's why. Because if you and listen to the nuance, fasting in and of itself is not a sin, no matter what day you decide to do it, including today. But if you are fasting today in an attempt to keep the Day of Atonement, the argument I can make is that that would be sinful. And here's why. You would be taking away from the word. Why? Because according to Leviticus chapter 16, and I'm going to read probably 3 verses and then get off. This is what Leviticus 16, starting in verse 29, says about the Day of Atonement. This shall be a permanent statute for you. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall humble yourself and not do any work, whether the native or the stranger who resides among you. For it is on this day that atonement shall be made for you to cleanse you. So right here, Josh obviously know this, but right here it's telling us that the reason why we fast or humble ourselves on the 10th day is because on that exact day, an atonement shall be made for us to cleanse us. But who's making the atonement? It's not Christ, right? It goes on to tell us, you will be clean from all your sins before the Lord. It is to be a Sabbath of solemn rest for you, so that you may humble yourselves. It is a permanent statute. So the priest who is anointed and ordained to serve as a priest in his father's place shall make an atonement. And then if you skip along, he says, he shall put on the linen garments, the holy garments, and make atonement for the holy sanctuary, and he shall make atonement for the tent and for the altar. And then lastly, he shall also make atonement for the priests and for all the people of the assembly. So the priest was responsible on the Day of Atonement for making an atonement for everybody. So obviously, if there's no priest to do that, why are you fasting? Or better yet, let me rephrase that. If there's no priest to make an atonement for us on this day, why are you trying to fast in an attempt to keep the Day of Atonement? You can't. And the final point I'll make is be for anybody that has this mindset, beware, because I would also argue this is the same type of mindset that the prophet Balaam had, right? And God sent an angel to kill Balaam because he messed up in this one area. And I would say this, if you go back and read Numbers chapter 22, specifically like 15 to like 22 or in that area, you will find that the reason why God sent an angel to try to kill the prophet Balaam was because God told Balaam that when the messengers from Moab came to come to him to see if he can curse Israel, God said to Balaam, "Hey, in the morning, like it was at night. This whole thing took place at night." And he said, matter of fact, let me just read it because I hate paraphrasing. I don't know why I do. That's annoying. So I'll read it quickly. The last thing. This will be the last thing, right? So let me see here. I'll start in verse 15. Numbers chapter 22, verse 15. Again, Balak, king of Moab, sends representatives to Balaam. That's the context, and this is what he says. Then Balak sent representatives once again, more numerous and more distinguished than the previous. They came to Balaam and said to him, "This is what Balak, the son of Zippor, says. I beg you, let nothing keep you from coming to me, for I will indeed honor you richly, and I will do whatever you tell me. Please come then, curse this people for me," because obviously they were in the wilderness. Israel rose up on, the borders of the land of Moab, and they're freaking out. Verse 18. But Balaam replied to the servants of Balak, "Even if Balak were to give me his house full of silver and gold, I could not do anything, either small or great, contrary to the command of the Lord my God. 19.
Mm,
Now please, you also here stay tonight, and I will find out what else the Lord will say to me. And God came to Balaam at night and said to him, if the men have come to call you, rise and go up with them, but you shall do only the thing that I tell you. Now pay close attention to this. Verse 21 says, so Balaam arose in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the leaders of Moab. And in verse 22, it says, but God was angry that he was going, and the angel of the Lord took his stand in the road as an adversary against him. Now, a lot of people, if you're not reading carefully, you'd be like, well, hold up, well God, didn't Balaam do exactly what you told him to do? You said he can go. Yes, but God said specifically, if the men have come to call you, rise and
mm,
go with them. But you shall do only the thing that I tell you. Balaam did not wait for the men to call him. He rose up in the morning and proactively went to the men. So, because he missed one small part of God's commandment, that caused God to send an angel to kill this man. Now, obviously, we know that
mm,
ended up not happening because the donkey was moving in such a way to avoid the angel. But the point being is, Balaam messed up one small part of God's commandment, and it caused God to want to remove him from the earth. So
mm,
pay very close attention when you're talking about these holy days, because it is not a small matter for you to try to fast on a day that you can only fast if the priest is available to provide an atonement for you. That's not the case. So if you're trying to fast in an attempt to keep the holy days, that's you adding or taking away from the law. That's it. Just want to bring that out, man. Appreciate it.
beautifully, wonderfully, superbly stated. And and here's the funny thing too, Kelvin, it does. It's called the Day of Atonement because an atonement was made that day.
Correct.
That's why it's called that. If there's no atonement being made today, then it's not the Day of Atonement. It's just the anniversary of the Day of Atonement, right? It's kind of like the best way I can break it down is like your birthday comes around, but nobody celebrates it because they can't, right? So when it comes to the Day of Atonement, along with like the other holy days, right? Um, and I did a whole class on this. There are many provisions. And by the way, y'all, don't get mad if you can't keep the holy days. That's by design. God did that to the children of Israel. The holy days were a privilege, not just a law. They were a privilege. Like if somebody jumped up today in America and they were like, Christmas is banned. We're not celebrating Christmas anymore. It's not just the holiday that's suffering. It's the fact that guess what? You don't get that time off from work anymore. See, people got to understand that the holy days were the children of Israel's holidays. They celebrated, they decorated, they got time off from work, right? You ban that, people lose that privilege. They lose that luxury. So that's why God took them away from them as a punishment, not because something was wrong with the holy days or anything with the law at all. There was a punishment, and he kept taking it away from them and giving it back, taking it away from them and giving it back. Because every time they went into captivity, they lost it. And then the final captivity, 70 AD, they never got it back, and they never will get it back until they're back in the land and Jesus comes back. That's when it'll be fully reinstituted. That's why I say that we acknowledge the holy days, but we can't observe them as outlined in the scriptures. You can't really fast for the Day of Atonement because no atonement was made today. You need the high priest for that. You need to be in Israel for that. All of that stuff. But if you fasted today to acknowledge it, then that's not a sin or anything if you just did that to acknowledge it, as if you could fast any other day. So I'm glad Care But It Does brought that out because a lot of camps, they like, you didn't keep the Day of Atonement today. Well, neither did you. I mean, it's not just fasting. An atonement has to be made. It even tells you, as Care But It Does pointed out, it says, for on this day, the Lord make an atonement. For, that means because. This is why you're fasting. If the reason for the fast is gone, then you can't really fast, not the right way, right? But still, y'all still learned, as Kelvin does also pointed out, from the humility that it illustrates. So I'm glad he brought that out, and he really had this on his chest. The energy that he came was from that, I guess, from that class you went to today, Kevin does.
It
That's what it
was
was.
terrible, but like the reason why I had this kind of energy, man, because like I was so upset, bro. Like, and not
That was what that's what Big Baby called that was built up. Big Baby said that's built up.
yeah, because like you know what it was like. It's like this, man. Like, cause you know, I'm gonna stay an anime manga nerd to the day I die, bro. It felt like this. It felt like I for the last 12 some odd years I've been rolling with you, man, and the rest of the people at A.B.T. I've been in the hyperbolic, bro. Like I've been training on the way dynamic, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Dang.
Like,
Not on the way
I,
to Namek, bro.
yeah, I've been training on the way dynamic. And then I come back to Earth and you know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like Raditz trying to fight Goku after he came back from Earth or something. After he came back from Namek, it would be
Is
a joke.
it just straight from Namek without going Super Saiyan, or back from Namek after Yardrak and Super Saiyan? Which one is
After Yard Drag and Super Saiyan, bro,
it?
and then having Raditz like Raditz on the same level he was when he fought Piccolo and Goku try to approach, like, bro, like
That little puny 1200 power level.
exactly. I'm like, dude, like I this is weak, and it's like everything in me is like, why am I? I mean, I know why I'm here. I'm here for my children, but it's like I was like,
Right.
man, like these arguments, like I debunked these arguments years ago, and these people are there's people out here still saying these type of things. So like, I had to keep a lid on it, bro. I had to keep a lid on it. So like, you know, yeah, if a little passion came out, yeah, that's really where it was from.
I said that sound like they were built up. But see, and it's funny, and I like when people do that, because if you study at ABT for an extended period of time, and then you go to another camp or another church and listen to them even attack something similar to what we talked about, you're gonna feel like you got robbed because you don't got spoiled. You know what I'm saying? I've done it before. I've visited other places before. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean, and then there's not the level of teaching. It also got to be the atmosphere too. I can get away with it not having the same level of teaching, but the atmosphere and everything else got to play into it. You follow what I'm saying? But I definitely feel what you're saying, Kel, but it does like, whew, I definitely feel that.
My whole thing is like I kind of set criteria for myself. Like Kevin, do not get mad if they teach a class or a sermon that is basic but doesn't really conflict with the scripture. You might be
Right.
bored out of your skull. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at least it's not anything that you know contradicts the word. It's when a sermon is not only milk but contradicts the word
A
that really
spoiled milk.
drives me. Exactly. It's spoiled milk. It's like, oh my goodness. It's, I can't stand it. But that's it, man. I don't want to talk too long. You go on to the next speaker.
It's all good, man. I definitely understand your frustration, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then why be trying to tell y'all, man, for a lot of people, man, I just can't. I just can't. No disrespect, but I just can't. Y'all know how I do. But now we got who is it, Rusty or Special Agent? Who was next?
I could
Kevin does
go.
take over. Let me take my urination. Y'all talk about it, but don't get too deep. I'll be right back. But keep it going, Kevin does.
All right. What's up, Rusty?
What's good, Chad?
Brooklyn's finest. You lead the city yet, my dude? You lead the city?
Nah, not yet, man. Not yet. Um, it, hopefully I'm gonna be able to leave around. I think probably around the weekend or sorry, not the weekend, the week of Thanksgiving. You know, Lord willing, I'm
You
able
going to
to.
West? Where you going to Westchester? Where you going?
No, me and Jeff, we actually decided to meet around, I think, Essen, New Jersey. That's like
Okay,
a
cool.
40 something minute drive from where I'm at. And Lord willing, if it's all able to go down, then I'll be able to get baptized.
Praise God, man. Glad you getting that done.
Honestly, man, it's been I've been at this for about a year now, and I've been trying my hardest. Like I've been trying my hardest to like just find people to like baptize me, but like none of the churches around me are like they're not really teaching what y'all teach. So it's just like I don't want to sort of be obliged to start going to someone's church that like they'll even teach like the Bible, or at least like they teach the Bible, but they don't teach like all of it. Like they don't teach everything.
Yeah.
I'm back. Just so y'all know, I'm back.
Welcome back, man. Welcome back. So I have a question, but before that, I just got a
Mm-hmm.
quick announcement. If y'all
Uh-oh.
don't, oh shoot, yeah. If y'all don't already know me, my name is. I don't even think my camera's working. It's all good. My name is Professor Verticus on YouTube. I make video game content on just like just biblically related stuff, like little video essays. I just dropped my new video. If you guys want to give it a watch, that would mean a lot to me. Uh, go drop a like, go drop a comment. Because at the end of the day, like I say, this is all like content that it pertains to like the Bible. I try to add like some like a video game spin to it. Add a little bit of Gen Z humor. If you to all my Gen Zs, drop a comment. I'm gonna select a random person, and whoever wins, they get $50. So
Whoa. Random rule, like who subscribe or post a comment.
yeah, you can enter multiple times if you got a burner account. Uh, just I'm trying
Y'all
to
better go in there and get them quick $50 because I straight steal that from y'all, man. I'm just letting y'all know, ain't no money too small for bro Josh. Y'all better get that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to push out this content, because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to edify people, with the word
Y'all make
of
sure
God.
y'all support my guy too. Post your link in the chat if you haven't done it already. Y'all make sure to support him, and once you subscribe to him, text me in my DM showing me proof that you subscribe to him. And if you do it multiple times, I'm gonna let him know. And whoever do it the most, I'm gonna send it to him, and then I'll let him pick who gonna win the $50. But send it to me, and I'm gonna send it to him, and I'll be like, "Yo, Rusty, this dude right here, man, he like sub like 10 times on your page, bro. You
No,
feel me?
you know what I think should happen? We
Was
should
that
have like a little like one of those like wheel spin like random number generators, and like
oh,
it just randomly picks
I don't know how
someone.
to do that. Gideon know how to do that. I don't know how to do it.
They got websites for that. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
okay.
where you could just
I'm
like
trying to get I'm
literally.
trying to get you I'm trying to get your subscriber up tonight. You know what I'm saying? Because they do it the way I'm doing it. Like I already got people DMing me right now saying they subscribe. I
Yes,
need
sir.
proof though, y'all. I need some screenshots.
So yeah,
Cause I'm gonna
if you
send them right to
subscribe
Rusty.
and
I got
drop a comment, it could be anything. It could be like W video. You could tell me about
yeah,
your
drop a
day.
comment too.
You could tell me what you liked about the video, what you didn't like about the video. Uh, anything. You could tell me about your pets. I don't really care. Uh, is anything.
When,
Just to
how much time do they have before you decide who wins? How much time they have to do it?
about a week. I'll probably give the $50 next Sabbath.
All right, that's cool. I got a couple of people hit me up. Oh, they showing proof too, bro. They sending in the screenshots, man.
Sir, yes, sir.
Create them burner accounts, and just load up. That's easy to do. I
Yes,
create
sir.
about 10 of them things.
but I don't
Yeah.
want to hold too long on that subject. My question
Okay.
was, so I was doing a little bit of light reading, and I had just finished Second Samuel, and I'm on First Kings right now, but it's not about First Kings. I was actually on Second Samuel 24, and I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of just confused. I need a little bit of clarification on what
I'm pretty sure me or
David.
Kelvin to help you.
Yeah, I just
Second
need a little
Samuel.
bit more clarification on what exactly David sinned in, or what law did he transgress in chapter 24, because it says that he did like a census,
Mm-hmm.
but
Well, it doesn't specifically say what it is, but it does seem to imply that he was looking more to the number of soldiers he had as strength. Like that's where his confidence was, rather than in the Lord.
oh, okay, so it was more like a pride thing. I see.
Yes.
Okay,
That would
okay.
seem to be implied. It's not exactly stated, but read verse 3, because that's the indication it gives. I'm not saying that's like definitely what it says. That's just the only indication that we're given. Read
Okay.
verse 3. After
This
this is
is
what Joab said after David asked him to number it. Go ahead.
okay. This is in the CSB, by the way, so it might be a
Okay.
little bit different. This is verse 3. Joab replied to the king, "May the Lord your God multiply the troops 100 times more than they are, while my lord the king looks on. But why does my lord the king want to do this?"
Right. Like, why do you want to do this? Right. Now, watch what it says in verse 4. Read that.
Verse 4. Yet the king's orders prevailed over Joab and the commanders of the army. So Joab and the commanders of the army left the king's presence to register the troops of Israel.
Right. So the way it reads in the ESV, not really my favorite, because it kind of interpolates it rather than just give like a more word by word explanation.
Yeah.
But look how it reads in the King James. It said, "And Joab said unto the king, Now the Lord thy God add unto thy people how many soever they be, an hundredfold, and that the eyes of my Lord the king may see it. But why doth my Lord the king delight in this thing? Like, why do you want to do this?" Right?
Mm,
You got another translation you can read in beside the ESV, or that's it?
well, I had also the KJV.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
But like I said, that's
It
the only indicator that it gives that he was interested in the size of his army. And the only reason why a king would be interested in the size of his army is because of the power that's with numbers.
to like
And you
boast
can read
about
up,
it.
well, not the boast, more like to have faith in it.
Oh, okay.
And the Bible says stuff like the Lord doesn't save by armies or whatever, something to that effect, right? Still a
Yeah.
level of pride, like you and what you're trusting in. That's the only indication or implication we get. Other than that, it don't state specifically why.
Nah, yeah, that makes sense, because I'm pretty sure I read somewhere, I think in, I don't remember if it was Joshua or in Judges. It could be a completely different chapter, but it was something
Mm-hmm.
about like where God, he kept lowering the amount of people in like the army, or like in the battles, so
That's
that
in
they wouldn't,
Judges. It got down to 300.
yeah, so that they wouldn't get too confident about
Mm-hmm.
like when they went to battle, because if they won, then they'd be like, oh, we did that because of our numbers, rather than we
That's
did it
right.
because of the Lord. So yeah, that
Right. So
that that clears
that's
it
the
up.
only indicator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's the only indicator, the size of the army. That's the only reason why a king would be interested in the size of his army.
Ah,
You
okay,
know,
okay. But
other
yeah,
than that,
that's,
I mean, why would he want to be numbered?
yeah, nah, I get it. But yeah, that's really all I had questions about right now. So remember, guys, uh drop a sub, comment, and I'll probably either comment under your thing, or we'll probably do like what Josh uh suggested, and just like he'll show me, he'll show me something, or like he'll
Mm-hmm.
show me the people, and I'll just I'll we'll just select it like that, or do like a number generator wheel. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. God bless y'all. I'm gonna still be in the chat. Take it easy.
Praise God. Appreciate that, Rust E. Right. And now we are moving to Special Agent Delta 49er. Go ahead, bro.
Hello, hello.
What's up?
You
I
guys hear
can
me?
hear you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Uh, I just had another quick question. So what about that other celebration that just happened the other day too? Forgot what it was called.
That was the
Rosh.
memorial blowing the trumpets. Rosh
Yeah,
Hashanah.
yeah, Rosh Hashanah. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I guess like, what's the kind of difference between observing and acknowledging?
Same thing. Just go back and go in Leviticus 23 and just read. This how I told everybody to do it. Read them. Read all the holy days in Leviticus 23, starting at verse 1. When you get to any part in the holy day where it's telling you something that had to be done that can't be done, that's how you know. But acknowledging just simply means learning what the date is and just throwing a little celebration together. Like, you know how they do on Christmas, they decorate and have parties and stuff. That's how you acknowledge it. That's all it means,
Okay.
you know? Now, I'm not saying you have to do it that way to acknowledge it that way, right? I'm just saying, let the people know. I said, I'm going to get better at it because like I said, last week, and so I'm going to start teaching y'all about the holy days. And that's why, atonement came up. That's a holy day. We got one more after that, the Feast of Tabernacles. Who that?
All right.
Yeah, Ro. Sorry. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. Nautica just called me too. Did you hear her, Kev?
Nah, I'm not on Clubhouse. I'm on Discord. Is she on Discord?
No, she on Clubhouse. Let me see what she's saying. Go ahead, Nautica. No, it's not a saying no. No. It's just like, we still got to teach people about them, and they were celebrations. So remember I said last week, I don't know if you heard me say this last week, we still need to get into the spirit of them. Just like these pagans get into the spirit of their pagan holidays. And you can do that through acknowledging and stuff like that. Right. But that's not a sin. This is where the sin comes in, Nautica. If you go out and you tell people, hey, I kept tabernacles, you didn't. No, you didn't keep tabernacles because you got to be in Jerusalem to do that. You follow what I'm saying? Well, not for tabernacles. It's on, what is it? Passover. No, it is tabernacles. Ain't that one on care, but it does the three Passover. Yep, Feast of Weeks and Tabernacles. Yes, it's three of them. It tell you in Deuteronomy 16. Yep,
Three what?
that one of the three ones that require you to be in Jerusalem.
Oh yeah. I mean, really, I say technically somebody got to be in Jerusalem for all of them. The priests and
Exactly. But,
yeah,
but we talk about the commoners, like the common
yeah,
people. It was like three of them where the common people had to be there too. But it's Deuteronomy 16 and 16. 3 times in a year shall all males appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose. And here's another thing that's interesting: all males. I ain't even get off of that ever care for the dust, right? And it says, we shall the place you shall choose, Feast of Weeks, unleavened bread, and Feast of Tabernacles. So yeah, that's one of the three where somebody had to be there anyway. And that's another thing that the Hebrews don't like to talk about. They don't like to mention that the law mandates that you had to be in a specific location for some of these holy days. And as Kelvin the Dust pointed out, for the holy days to be carried out, somebody always had to be in Jerusalem at the temple, the priests and all of that stuff, right? But that's how you acknowledge it.
Hey,
In
real
fact, I
quick.
could take you to Tobit and show you how they acknowledged it. Go ahead, Kelvin the Dust.
Yeah, I was gonna make a point about acknowledgement. Um, and then go to Tobit because that's a good one. If
Yeah.
somebody that's a good one if you just want, because here's the thing, right? I don't believe you have to celebrate anything to acknowledge it, right?
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because if you just look at the word acknowledge, right? So I'm on Merriam-Webster dictionary for the word
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge. And acknowledge could mean to recognize the rights, authority, or status of, to disclose
Correct.
knowledge of, or agreement with, to express gratitude or obligation for, to take notice of, to make known the receipt of, or to recognize as genuine or valid. And that last one is key, in my opinion, because you know to we're all recognizing the holy days as God's days. But just because
Mm-hmm.
just because we're acknowledging, or in other words, recognizing the holy days as God's true or genuine holy days, that doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
that we can keep God's true and genuine holy days. We're just acknowledging
Yeah.
that those days are his.
Right.
That's it.
And when they what time of year they come. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying?
Yep, yep. Yeah, because that's all part
You
of the
know,
deal. Mhm.
that's all part of it. But all I was just saying, I know you agree with this too, Kevin, does, just to get into the spirit of it, it'll be nice to celebrate it like they did in
Agreed.
Toby, but it's not mandatory because when people hear that word celebrate, they start thinking that they're actually doing it the way as
Exactly.
described in the Bible. That's why I use the word acknowledge, right? It's not a sin to celebrate them, right? And we need to acknowledge them because they're in the law and we got to teach the law. You follow what I'm saying? And they also got spiritual significance pertaining to Jesus. So, we got to show y'all about that. But nobody today, and nobody, and this is one of the ones where everybody should breathe a sigh of relief because this is nobody's fault living
Right.
today. Like you didn't do this. God ain't gonna punish you for something that He already punished the children of Israel for. This is they brought this on us not being able to observe them properly today. They brought that on us. And I got a whole class showing that God literally took them all away from them and then asked you, now what you gonna do? Like he literally said that. Like, what you gonna do now? The rhetorical question being like, if me and Kevin is sparring, right? And I completely just dismantle him, just incapacitate him. And then I'd be like, okay, what you gonna do now? That's a rhetorical question. Nothing. I can't do anything. I can show you in the class that God, when He was punishing the children of Israel by not allowing them to celebrate the holy days anymore, He literally asked them, "What you gonna do now?" Right? But in Tobit, you can see that when they was in captivity, what Tobit did is he had like a little celebration with his wife, right? And he couldn't go up to Jerusalem and do it because they had got went into captivity. So just throwing something together. Now, do I recommend celebration? Of course, it's a festive time, but it's not mandatory. You follow what I'm saying? I get excited every time the holy days come around, just like the pagans get excited when the Christmas come around. You follow what I'm saying? And when the Easter come around, that's part of the law as far as like what we're teaching. But like we said, man, can't do it. Wish we could.
All right.
It's
Just
late.
one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when should we fast?
Uh, anytime you want. But specifically, if you like, when you say when, or you mean like a date, or when as in responding to something.
Uh, when is if we're responding to something?
Okay, like you can fast. The Israelites, they fasted when they wanted God to grant a prayer for them, and it was usually in a dire situation, right? Fasting was like when you could use the word emergency or urgency of something that they wanted. Like an example of that is if you got a sick relative in the hospital, right? You don't just pray, you fast if the situation is serious. That's showing the level of urgency that you need that prayer to be answered. That's when they usually did it. Or if they were going through some troubles. That doesn't mean that's the only time you can fast. You can fast when everything's going perfect, right? But that's when they mainly did it. So that's why I said whenever you want.
Okay, I see.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did my first fast not too long ago, and it was pretty tough, man. Just kind of did the no water, no food. Just
For how
trying to read
long?
my Bible.
How long?
24 hours.
Yeah. And I tell everybody this: start if you've never fasted before, aim for 24, but see how you feeling at 12. Because I've never seen anybody in the Bible fast for less than a day. I'm just saying. I'm not saying they never did, but every fast I saw in the Bible, Kelba does, you can jump in at any time and let me know if you ever seen a less than 24-hour day fast. But every fast I ever seen in the Bible was at least 24 hours.
Yeah, I've never seen less, seen a lot of times more, which I mean,
Right.
hey, shout out to Moses and Jesus with the 40 bombs, but
Right.
yeah, I'm not equipped for that.
And the Ninevites too. Didn't the Ninevites fast for 40 days?
Well, I don't remember, but that
In,
that
in
was
Jonah?
not that it matters, but you know, the king was like, everybody's going fast. You're all
Right.
fast. Yeah,
Even the animals.
right.
He put sackcloth on the animals.
Yeah,
It was 3 days. He said the Ninevites
yeah.
fasted 3 days.
Still a
Oh yeah,
lot.
the destruction was gonna come in 40 days. The destruction was gonna come in 40 days, right? Say yeah, 40 days. I think that was destruction. Yeah, but
Um,
you ain't playing when you got the animals fasting. That's
Right.
something else. They put sackcloth on the animals.
Shout out to that king though, right? Because that's how you're supposed to do it if you're a ruler or a president or a prime minister of a country. You know bad things are happening. You're supposed to turn to God. So I actually have a lot of respect for that king at that time. I know it didn't last, but you know, it's a good example of what leaders in a country are supposed to do.
It did not last, right? I mean, in the book of Nahum, you know what I'm saying? God ended up having to get Nineveh anyway. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It tells you that. Yeah, it was 40
um,
days until the destruction comes. That's what it was. I knew it. It was 40 days, right?
just
But
just
that's all it
one
is to the
one
investigation.
last thing to add. I just
Okay.
found it funny that you said like the double attacks like right as you're nearing the end of the fast because
A
I like
double what?
it, like near the end of the fast, right? Like that's when he attacks.
That's
Or
when I said, oh, yeah, when you're at your hungriest, yes. And you're usually at your hungriest. The longer you fast, the hungrier you get. So when you're nearing the end, that's at your top peak of hunger. Because the longer you go, right? That is correct. Yes.
yeah, and I was like 10 minutes away, and I just found myself like convincing myself like I should just eat. It was like this weird kind of thought process that I was going through. So it's just funny that you mentioned that and showed it with the scripture. But
Yeah. And at some point, because some of the I think Nautica and some of the other sisters said this. I don't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. But or maybe it was even Kel but the Dust. I don't remember. But at some point we were saying like, as a church, we should try to, recommend like days where, that we just like Kel but the Dust be like, hey Josh, man, I'm gonna fast this Wednesday. You wanna see if you can fast with me? Like we'll start Wednesday night, we'll stop Thursday night, you know, like stuff like that. So that's
Yeah.
what churches did. You follow what I'm saying? Fast and prayer, right? Because I might be fast for something. A lot of people going through stuff. That's what they did in the early church. They would pray and they would fast for each other. That's what they would do, right?
Right. To that point, I think it was Ariel actually. I feel like Ariel
Okay,
might have brought it up a long time
that
ago.
sounds Aureolis,
Doesn't it?
Aurealish.
Doesn't it? Definitely sounds Arielish. I think I love this stuff because like I mean, like anybody would, I really do believe in the power of prayer and fasting. And I always think back to because I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, right? Of course.
Mhm.
When one of our safeties, like the guy DeMar Hamlin, who had a heart attack on the field, I brought this up before, Like I really do believe, I mean, this guy made it and he's still playing on the team and pretty well.
Wow.
But he made it because I mean, did millions of people fast and pray for him? Probably. Like it was a lot, man. And you know,
Damn.
you just saw the work of God like move, you know, like in just mysterious ways. So like I would say maybe we can start like underneath the Bible talk side panel here. Maybe we can put maybe like fasting in the prayer request section, I guess. Like just when people
Mhm.
fasting and for what? Because I would definitely join in on that. That's some powerful stuff right there.
Yeah, it is. That's dead serious. And yes, Nautica said it's like some Nautica-ish stuff too. I don't
Oh,
know if you couldn't
okay.
hear it, Kim, but and it is, you know what I'm saying? You know, that sounds like something she would recommend too. And especially since we've learned a lot more about, you know, how deep it is to fast. You follow what I'm saying? You know, in fact, Kel Brother does this class is can also run parallel to that class about how you got your name, Kel Brother does, how you named yourself that, right? Because humility is related to that dust too. You feel me?
Agreed.
Hmm. But now we got I think who was next, Bro James or Solo Nation? I don't even remember. It's
I don't
showing
remember.
Brother James. It's showing Brother James on my screen like he's in the front. So we'll just go with James. Bro James, Bro Boaz. What to do? You gotta unmute yourself. You're still muted, James. Can anybody else hear him? Because I cannot.
I can't hear him.
Okay, I'm gonna put you down in the audience, James. Raise your hand again. I'm gonna go to Solo, then you just go after Solo. Solo Nation, what it do? Let's see if you working.
What's good, brother Josh?
I see him and I hear him. What's going on with Solo Nation?
Man, I'm doing well. Praise God. All praises to the
Praise
Most
God.
High. This class was really awesome, brother Josh. Like most of your
Praise
classes.
God.
I mean, all your classes to me, but um, yeah, and yeah, I'm glad Kevin the Dust is here. I actually got a quick question for him before I forget. Um, Kev, is it okay if I use your persona in this project that I'm working on?
His
I don't
persona.
mind. Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, because see now you're using terminology that I use in my own line of work. So like persona, what kind of project are you working on?
Oh man, can I message you what it is, or
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want
Now
to
you can
give it
message me.
away just yet.
Yeah, no problem. Cool. Yeah, you can use me, bro, for sure.
Okay, perfect, cool, thank you. Um, and yeah, I'm glad he brought up the that that passage about Balaam or Balaam. Um,
Mhm.
because that's what I was referring to that time in one of our sessions, brother Josh, about like
Mhm.
patterns and how I didn't know if that was a pattern like with the young prophet and the old prophet, because I get like the moral of that story was, you know, do what God says. But I just
Mhm.
was like, why is the donkey there? Like why did the guy get slain and the donkey's there? But I didn't know if it was similar to um like with Rebecca and when she has the twins and then Tamar has the twins. Like what is the Bible trying to tell me? Does it want me to go back and read that story? Like what's going on here? Um but yeah, I'm glad he did share that. It just got the gears spinning. Um
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
same
but
with
it does, man. That's my spiritual sparring partner, bro. That's the guy who I train in the gravity chamber with. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's the guy
that's
we go in the hyperbolic time chamber, bro. One
praise
day
God.
equals 1 year, which, by the way, is a Bible concept, by the way, where 1 day equal a year. I can show you that too,
Mm,
pertaining to some stuff. That's a Bible
indeed,
concept too. Hmm.
for sure. Um Yeah, the brother Akaki, I think
Hmm.
he had me thinking a little bit too about, and I think Rusty kind of spoke on it, but just how David, he had that choice between those three options, and he chose, was it the the pestilence he chose?
I forget which one he chose, but boy, I would not have to be wanting to be the guy to make that decision.
Yeah, that's tough. And just like how they all, because when you pulled out that Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 50 and 55, and how like another nation would come by the sword and eat up all their food, it just made me think about how all of those things, they just related to starvation. And
Yeah.
you know, if you get sick enough, you kind of can't eat. And it's just, I was like, man,
I said it's different way. I said the Lord is creative. Remember I said that? It's different
yeah,
ways he can make that happen.
he is. And just so I don't take too much time from everyone, I got like two questions I think I can ask. So one of them, and this one's kind of silly. Um, how do angels fight? Because I was thinking about Daniel, and
How do they fight?
yeah, I was thinking about Daniel, and when
Let
if
me
I'm
ask you
not
a question.
mhm,
That story that Caleb of the Dust with Balaam. He said he saw the angel standing there doing what?
with the sword,
What are swords for?
aim to slay.
I mean, he was probably holding it just for humans, but
Yeah, yeah.
I
Because
mean, who's to
an
say
angel
that?
appears many times with a sword in
Yeah,
its hand.
who's to say that they can't have a sword fight with each other?
Mm, okay.
They definitely clash. I don't want to
Mm,
say get physical because they're spirits, right?
mhm.
But they can
Yeah.
get physical too because they can come in physical form, right? All I can say is this: I think if they are fighting, it's on some Dragon Ball Z level stuff, how fast and stuff they're moving. You follow what I'm saying? On some
Yeah.
anime stuff. Like
Mhm.
they could be fighting right in front of us and they're moving so fast we can't see it.
Mm. Yeah, I was just like, you know, with Michael comes and joins in that particular passage to fight the prince of, was it the prince of Persia, or
Hmm.
and it's like, how are they fighting? Because they're immortal beings. Like, can they harm each other? Like, I didn't.
They can harm the immortal against another immortal. I don't know if they could feel the pain of a strike from another immortal, but they could definitely be subdued, which
Mhm,
illustrates a different level of strength among them.
mm,
Like in Revelation 20, who's this strong angel that's gonna be able to bound Satan?
mhm. Yeah.
See, God got angels stronger than Satan. Like God ain't got to deal with Satan personally. He got angels stronger than Satan.
Mhm,
One angel, it says, bound him in the bottomless pit.
mm,
You follow what I'm saying?
mhm,
So they can fight. You
mm.
follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You about to say something, Kel, about the dust?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say about Satan, like God got angels in the spiritual realm that we literally know nothing about. And I
Right.
say that because if you read the book of Enoch, was the book of Enoch? I think so, where it talks about, I think that like the seven archangels, something like that. And one of the
Hmm.
angels, like his responsibility is essentially to police, huh? Girl, go somewhere real quick. Can I finish my point? Actually, don't go somewhere. Stay right here. I'll do what you mean. Hold up. Um, yes, daughter trying to barge in. But what I was saying is like, yeah, so like this angel's responsibility is essentially to police other angels in like the heavenly realm. They got nothing to do
Right.
with us.
Mm,
So, yeah, the idea that there would be angels stronger than Satan, completely believable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. That I'm gonna have to look a bit more at the Book of Enoch. Thank you. Yeah, and yeah, and actually, I actually have a question for Kev. Because I know he mentioned going to um a church. And my wife and I, we're not quite there. Where you're at as far as with kids. We don't have any kids just yet. But I was just curious how you protect your kids from, you know, I guess for lack of a better word, but like maybe some of the nonsense they might hear in
Mm.
those types of settings. Cause, when you go from listening to Brother Josh, it's like having a Macintosh and going downgrading the Windows,
Yes, sir.
So
Thank you for that analogy.
And
Thank you for
Macintosh,
that analogy.
I gotta throw that one in.
That was smooth. That was smooth. I like that. My fault. Go ahead.
That was all though. That was all, brother Kev.
Oh
I was
yeah,
just
go
curious
ahead.
how you protect them.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Well, before I answer your question solo, let me ask you this: did you grow up a believer, or did you come to this in adulthood?
I grew up a believer here last year.
Okay.
I came up in like a Pentecostal type church though. So
Oh, I see. So a little different. Yeah. So
mm,
I grew up, you know, with the like my father raised me like with the understanding that we're supposed to be keeping the law essentially, right? So none of this is really new to me, but I use that as a base because I don't attend obviously the church I grew up in, but it gave me a strong foundation. So what I do is when I'm looking at a church, I'm looking for the essentials, right? I'm not going to take my family to a Sunday keeping church. Not going to do it. There's too much
mhm,
to clean up and it's too nonsensical. So I only look for churches that, were promoting keeping God's law. However, beyond that, I don't I don't try to find a church, and like I kind of said earlier, I just don't believe. I mean, God could surprise me, but to act like it's easy to find a physical A.B.T church out here that's just not reality at
yeah,
all. Like
yeah,
at all, like not even close to it. So it's either I don't take my kids to a physical church and we just stay home, or I find a physical church and relax some of my requirements, right? So when my wife and I, because we knew this day would come, like because our firstborn was born in 2019, and we knew at some point we were gonna have to take our kids to a physical church, mainly just so that they get the experience. I don't need a physical church, right?
hmm
But I also grew up in a physical church, so I know what that's about. I don't need it as an adult, but there is something to be said about having your kids be amongst other kids who come from families of
Mhm.
believers. So
hmm
that's
Yeah.
really all I'm looking for, right? If a church teaches God's commandments, all the other nuanced things I kind of relax on with the understanding and expectation that I'll have to do some cleanup work, right? So
Yeah.
my oldest son Axel, right? Super smart
Right.
kid, right? Already asking questions. Like I had
mm,
a little sidebar, right? He's 5. He just turned 5 a month ago. I was
Mhm.
showing him some old photos, like of me, my brother, and just like my grandparents who are all now dead.
mm,
And he was asking questions and all that, but of course, I turned the page and there's a photo of me as like a 5-year-old with a Christmas tree in the background. Your boy
Oh.
zoomed right into that. He's like, hold up, daddy. Why do I see a Christmas tree in this photo? And I'm like, hey,
Mm.
dude, you got me. And I told him, because my mother, she still keeps all of that. I said, hey, when I was growing up, I was keeping Christmas. I didn't know any better. And as I got older, like I obviously put that away because again, even though I grew up with the understanding that we're supposed to be keeping the law, I had a weird upbringing because on one hand, I'm like saying we're supposed to be keeping the dietary laws while on the other hand eating a bowl of shrimp. Saying we're supposed to be keeping the holy days while on the other hand keeping Christmas. So it was very weird upbringing until I was 18 and got to the point where like this is hypocritical. Let me do something. So
Right.
yeah, I would say for you, if you want children and you get to that point, just stick with the essentials, bro, because you're gonna frustrate yourself if you're trying to find a physical ABT. It's not out here.
Got you. Stick with the essentials. Thank you.
Needle in the haystack, bro.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. It's yeah. I've never learned as much as I have. Um, you know, just even like the first class ever. I was like, this is rare, incredibly rare. So I thank the Lord for you, brother Josh, Jadeon, and everybody that in ABT. This is excellent teaching. Can I ask one more question, brother Josh?
Yeah.
So, all right. So I was doing a little bit of research on some of like because in our last session, man, you really opened my eyes to how I think it was in First Samuel chapter 5, verse 1 through 5, and how Dagon, the Philistines' god, was bowing to the Most High, in the form of in the Ark of the Covenant, and
Mm-hmm.
um and so I was looking at how the the ancient nations, they um how they perceive cosmology. And so when I look at Genesis, and I just wonder, like, where did the water come from? And I think I've heard like ancient Israel or ancient Hebrews, like they didn't question that. They understood it as nothing. Um the even the water being there, and then the wasteland, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, however is explained in Genesis 1. But I don't know. I just I just was wondering. I was like, I wonder what Brother Josh knows about this, because I'm like, where did the water come from? But
Well, the water came when it first said, "In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth."
mm,
Right.
mhm,
In other nations, like the Egyptians, they called it the primordial waters,
mhm,
and they believed that it was just this water that was always there in this dark void,
mm,
and then Ra emerged from it.
mhm.
You follow what I'm saying? And created himself, so to speak.
Yeah,
But the Bible
yeah,
says God creates all things. So even though it doesn't specifically say he created the water, when it says that in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth, that's when he created the water. Then when it said let the dry land appear,
mm,
that's coming out of the water that he had already created. You follow what I'm saying? But there were other pagan cultures, like I said, like the Egyptians, they believe like in this primordial waters that was just always there in a dark void.
yeah. Babylon. It was very interesting because a lot of the
Kind of like the womb.
nations. Oh, pardon.
So kind of like the womb.
Yeah, and yeah. So, oh my gosh, yeah. I
I
don't
got
want
a
to talk
class
too
on
much.
that. I got a class on that too, by the way.
Oh man, I had to listen to that one. Because yeah, when you had mentioned about the rain and famine, and it made me think about how God, the Most High God, He has mastery over water.
Hmm.
And He demonstrates it all throughout the scriptures. But yeah, I just found it interesting how the other nations, they have these origin stories that have to do with there being some sort of chaos or water. And um
Yes, most of the ancient nations believe that this world was brought into existence through violence,
yeah.
chaos, and fighting. See, the
Mm,
Bible is one of the few, not the only, but one of the few that talks about God speaking creation into existence. And the Egyptians had multiple creation stories. They don't have just one.
oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like, they got one where it says that Ra masturbated the world into existence. You
Mm,
follow what I'm saying? You got one with the god Ta, or just Ta, if you don't sound out the P, where he spoke the word into existence, the word into existence, like the Bible God, right? And then you got some Asian cultures, they believe that a giant turtle played a role in in the creation of man. Like, I have a whole book on religions all over the world, like world religions,
Mm,
and there's some doozies. Some of them are similar to the Bible, others they just chaotic and wow. You follow what
mm,
I'm saying? Some
mm-hmm.
of them involve sex, like the gods were having sex and we came about, right? I might do a class on that too, just to show and compare everything, because the ancient world was something else, man. The
Yeah.
ancient world was something else, right? It really puts stuff in perspective when you know about the ancient world and what they were going up against. It was hard back then to be dedicated to the Most High. It was so much
Mm,
temptation from the neighboring countries. Like, they were wilding out. Most of the neighboring countries, they celebrated their worship toward their God through sexual rites. So you go right down the street and you hear them at the temple getting banged out.
mm,
You feel me? The temple prostitutes. That was their holy women.
mm.
You follow what I'm saying? That's what they call holy women. And the priests were pimps because they would pay these priests, and they would sleep with these temple prostitutes.
That's crazy.
And some of that got over into the nation of Israel. It's in the Bible. You know,
Mm,
some of them priests became pimps and the women were prostitutes. It even talks about how the women started getting haughty and started trying to dominate over the men. All that's in the Bible. You
mm,
follow what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
It's a lot. Even
Yeah.
with our session solo, you and I, we usually do, like the last couple of sessions, we do 2.5 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, your 2 hours, then we talk for an extra 30 minutes on top of that, right? And even in that time, we're still only scratching the surface of things,
Yeah.
right? And then there's another solo in the audience right now, Solo Z,
Mm,
right? I thought his name was Golo because that's like a G to me. He said, no, that's a S. He and I just had a session earlier this week on Wednesday. And
cool.
man, he just like your namesake, y'all one and the same when it comes to how deep y'all go. 1 hour ain't enough. We were about 2.5 hours, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we went into these sessions, man. Y'all might think I'm just trying to get paid, and I am, but that's how I make my living. But
Yeah.
man,
They're
we be talking
priceless
about
though.
Man, we be
Yeah.
talking about some stuff, man. It gets deep. Care but the Dutch, like think the counseling session, Care but the Dutch that I have with them is basically like the foreign sessions you and I used to have back in the day. You follow what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Old school stuff.
Right, right. The only difference is we only talk about whatever they want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because it's their dollar. So whatever question. But the way we go deep and start just digging, man. And that's why the counseling said an hour go by just like that,
Oh yeah.
right? It goes by so, and I be trying to get in as much as possible. I'm not like a cab driver trying to let the meter run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
you're
try to
very
get in.
generous.
Yes, and we go beyond, and it ain't just about the money with me because I had another counseling session on Thursday as well that I had to postpone from Tuesday. And I was like, yo, I'll throw in an extra 30 minutes because I had to counsel on you. Because y'all know my motto. If I have to counsel on y'all or be late, I'm gonna give y'all that extra time on top of what you paid for. Because if I'm inconveniencing you, you're supposed to be compensated for that. That's just how I look at it. And me and him, that was Charles. We had an interesting one too, man. Y'all, let me tell you something, Solo and the other Solo and Charles. Let me tell you something, man. Y'all be on. Yeah, y'all ain't wasting y'all money. Y'all dead serious. We jump on it. That's why I got to get this school back up. We got
Yeah.
we got to get we got to get the university back up, man. Cause y'all be on. Care for the Dust. These guys be on one when we get these sessions in, bro. The questions they ask, the stuff that it leads to. You know what I mean? It branches off to, we begin to sum everything, man. And now I got two solos, and they are one and the same about how they approach this stuff.
We be hungry.
Be hungry, man. We talk about some stuff, and we don't just talk about the Bible. We talk about the world. See, that's the thing about a counseling session. It's not a Bible study. Bible study is an option if that's what you want to do. Counseling session to mean exactly that. And it's a combination. Sometimes we give advice and we just be talking. But most of the time, man, when me and Solo Nation, we jumping up, Solo jump in like, yo, Josh, what's up with this? What is this talking about? And he said, okay, well, what about this? Because it just branches off like I love it, man. And that's why I be giving extra time. Being a lot of time, Kev, what it does when we go overtime, it's because I be getting so excited about it. I'm not gonna charge them for me keeping them on there. You feel me? But they still
Right.
benefiting. But they still benefiting from it too because they still get more
Mm.
information in. So I love it. This is what I wanted to do. This is another prayer about it. What I meant to tell you, Kev, what it does. That was answered of mine along with the exposure that I could actually counsel people like on a psychological level and incorporate the Bible into it and get paid for it. So that's yet another blessing
Mm.
that God granted that I asked for because I wanted to do that. You know.
Praise God.
Praise God.
Mhm. Anything else, Solo?
Oh no. As always, it's just always a pleasure to chat with you um and with Kevin the Dust, and just this is just an
Mhm.
awesome class. Thank you, brother Josh.
Praise God, man. I see you either next week or next session.
Yes, sir. God willing.
God willing. God
Peace,
willing.
everybody.
Peace. Okay, James, how you looking now, man? You good, man?
What's going on, man? I'm looking good. Peace, everybody.
The
Peace.
pillar of
He's
A.B.T.
James. Dang, been a minute since I've been
Man,
on the same stage as James.
What's going on?
yeah.
Yeah, I cut off all the microphone settings on some of my apps because the
Okay.
microphone be popping up on my phone, that little like yellow or orange. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, why does the thing
Mm-hmm.
keep popping up and I ain't on nothing? So I cut all that stuff off. I had to go and click it on. But yeah, just real quick, y'all going into them deep, the primordial waters, right? Since y'all brought it up, you remember the
Whoa.
text I said to you, Josh, about Bane, the scene where Bane and Batman in what is it, Dark
Mm-hmm.
Knight Rises.
Yeah.
So Batman cuts the lights out, right, fighting Bane, and Bane goes, "Ooh," he says, "I was
You
born
think
in the
the
darkness."
molded in it.
Yeah, so they're referring to the darkness is that primordial water. It's also called the abyss. They associate like what we would call the
Mm,
spiritual prison. They call that the
right.
underworld. That's what the Egyptians call the underworld. And so
That's
that's what he's
right.
saying. He's saying, I'm from the underworld. You only adopted the darkness, right? So he was clowning on
I
Batman.
was born in
Yeah,
it.
I was
Mold.
molded by it.
I was born in it. Molded by it.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, that's cool to get into all that because they're looking at that
Yes,
as like
sir.
something you need to tap into, right? With them pagan religions
Mm-hmm.
because they dealing with them demons. So they kind of flip the
Right.
script on a lot of that stuff. But yeah,
Even in the
great.
Dark Knight Rises, that was like the bottomless pit that Batman or Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne was thrown into. You follow what
Right.
I'm saying? And
You
it's a
remember when they?
prison.
Yeah, that was the prison he had to climb out of. And also, you remember right when
Mm-hmm.
he showed up, them Asian cats beat him up, and he said, "This is your." He says, "What did he say? Something about hell." They walked up to him and they said, "Yeah, you already in hell." And he's like, "Nah, y'all are just practice." Or they said they're devils,
Right.
something
Something like
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're using all those metaphors and stuff. But yeah, it was a good class, man. I love this topic because I've always looked at even the prodigal son, right? When he went through what he went through, Luke 15, how he was willing to eat, like he was hungering for them pods, he was feeding the swine,
Oh,
and
he
he was
was
getting
humble.
hungry. Right. He got to that low point, went back to the father. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a merciful thing, man. Every time he brings that upon people, that hunger, it's really mercy because he's trying to get your attention. That means he wants you to repent.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that in the Exodus, like with the blood, the river to blood, because they couldn't drink the river. And then systematically, he started taking out all the
Mm-hmm.
food. Like he took out, I think it was, what was it? first he did. Dang, I can't remember. He took out one crop and then he left the other one, and then I think it was the hail, and then the locust took everything out.
That was
So
left.
yeah, that's right. And so yeah, and you see that again. I heard you mention that the sackcloth, the two witnesses clothed in sackcloth, right? I ain't gonna get too
Indeed.
much. And that's a yeah, that's pulling off of that Exodus account too. So you can go look at that Exodus account if y'all want to go look at them two witnesses. But yeah, I ain't gonna get too much into that because I think you mentioned you like to break that down in the class. But that stuff is interesting too, man. That the two witnesses clothed in sackcloth. It's not. Well, I guess this is just a question. It would be more like they're clothed in sackcloth, meaning they're gonna humble the world, right? Not necessarily that they're fasting, or is it both, or is it one or the other?
It's actually well, see, the sackcloth also represents mourning,
Right.
right? So yes, like all three,
Yeah,
like
gotcha. Yeah, I guess yeah, you would
you
fit
know,
it all in there then. Yeah.
exactly. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they gonna be wearing that, and that represents mourning and bring and humble. They're humble already because
Mm-hmm.
they're prophets, but bringing a humbling on the world, so to speak.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? Oh, it's all
Mm-hmm.
connected, man, and it gets deeper. You follow what I'm saying?
Oh, it
It
always
gets deeper,
does. Just like the
man.
abyss, it gets deep.
Right. And like we didn't even deal with the for this particular atonement class, we didn't even deal with the Azazel stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That
Yeah,
angel, that strong angel that throws him in there, just like you brought up the Satan being thrown in there by a stronger angel. I heard y'all talking about that.
exactly. Like, I didn't even deal with the angel Azazel. I don't know if I ever did that particular class on Discord where I was dealing with Azazel and the role, the angel, the fallen angel Azazel and the role he plays in the atonement ritual. I don't know if I did. I know I showed it to Gideon one-on-one before, and I know y'all know about it, right?
I think you
But
did an
that's a
old class. I want to say that you'd cover that in an old class, not on not I don't know about recently, because you pointed
right.
out
Yeah,
the
yeah, I know
proper
I did in
name.
the old class. I don't know if I ever did it since I've been on Discord. Have I ever did it on Discord, y'all? Anybody remember me breaking that scapegoat down and all that stuff on Discord? Give me a W if any of y'all remember that.
It
Is
might have
that
been
it?
like right before Discord. It might have been. I remember you doing something about it like vaguely in the past year, maybe. I could be
Right.
wrong.
Well, I don't
Any,
know. I can look at my notes. If I look at my notes, Kyle, my notes are dated. I'll be able to tell.
right. Yeah, I had a question also about the just the Joel account, right? With the locusts and stuff. Does it go into detail of why? Because you get, I don't think we get a little context of like why. I know it brings the locust, and the locust is there to get them to repent about something. I don't know if it goes into the specifics. I guess it may. But do you have can you pinpoint that time period where that took place? And I know there's some prophecy scattered all throughout Joel as well, but specifically
Oh,
it
in
seems like
Joel chapter 3.
one, like one, and I guess it starts at like 1 and 4 when it
Oh
talks about
well.
the
Oh,
locusts.
oh, oh. It lets you know that it was in that time period because it lets you know that which the cankerworm has eaten, the locust. You know how it words it. Let you know that what one left over, something else ate, and something else left over.
Right. So
These
what
are
was
all.
that? What was that time
Go ahead.
period? Can we pinpoint that time period in the biblical
Yes,
account
like
narrative?
during the time period where the children of Israel were going into captivity, like to the Assyrians and
The
the
northern
Babylonians,
tribes.
right, and stuff like
Okay.
that. Yeah, and
Okay.
that
So
was a
Joel.
prophecy being fulfilled that I also read in correlation with the famine when it talked about the caterpillars and stuff or
Hmm.
whatever. It was in like in that same chapter and stuff too. It was around that time.
Okay. Yeah, I could never figure
Mhm.
out what time period this was talking about. So yeah. All right, that's cool.
Let me give you a cheat sheet on that. Let's go to Joel.
All right.
Let me get
I'm
it
there. What
with you.
chapter?
Chapter 1.
Okay.
Let me catch up with you. You
Yeah,
must
I
smell
sent you
that.
that text, Josh, about it was about it's the Enuma Elish, right? It talks about Marduk and all them were born in the abyss. They calls it the Apsu, but that's that
I got
primordial water.
I got
Yeah.
that right here. I lost the oh my gosh. The cover of this book fell off. I suggest everybody get this book. It is called Mythology,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what's that name of that god you just named? Marduk?
Marduk is also he's also known as Baal or Bel.
Let me see if I can find this. Because I didn't go to the index, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you can look up any god's name. It's pronounced Marduk. I've been saying Marduk.
Yeah, I do it like it's a double U or something. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think
Ain't no
I've
telling.
probably heard some audio books say it that way.
Is it Marduk?
Yeah, DUK.
Let me see. Because I got my aunt. Someone spell it Mur. Murdoch.
Okay.
I think that's what you're talking about. Let me get here. I got to go all the way here. Let's see. Mur. Come on. It's spelled different ways. I'm trying to find it in here because it might be spelled different in here. Because I was reading about it. What's another name of a deity that you named?
It's called Bell. Like it does BEL or BE
B.
like
Oh yes,
slash
yes. I seen
L.
that one. BEL. I know what you're talking about. Let's see. BEL.
So it's in the
Yeah,
Enuma Elish. It actually changes. It calls him Baal in one verse, and then it calls him Marduk in the next. It says he was conceived in the abyss or the Aptu, and then it says Marduk was born. Was
I will
Marduk born?
find this. I know the Enuma Elish is in here because I was reading it. Here it is.
Yeah.
Enuma Elish. It starts on page 84 and 80. Oh, and by the way, this thing got pictures on that. Y'all got to get y'all hands on this one.
What is that?
It's called Mythology.
Yeah, but what's the picture you showing? I was trying to.
Oh, I was just showing a random picture. I was just
Rant.
showing a random picture.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
this
And it
all.
got pictures all in it. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this all ties into what you were talking about the fat. You talk about Lent, right? And I put in the little chat that Lent. I
Yeah,
always
with
thought
the
Lent was
Tammuz
associated
and all that stuff.
weeping for Tammuz. Yeah. So do you think they bit
Uh-huh.
the 40 days? Is that Satan just trying to bite off of what God was doing? With his people,
Well, I don't know. I
or is
just know
that
that
just a number?
40 is a theme in the Bible that pops up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
40, y'all know 7, y'all know 12. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And here it is right here, divine creators. This is a picture right here dealing with Enuma Elish. I don't know how well you can see this, but here you go. Hold on. There it is. And this one right here. You see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
This book is
That's one of
called,
them. That's one of them deities right there.
yes. This is like I learned a lot about the ancient world. This is like one of the best books you can get. You know what I mean? Y'all got to get
Mm-hmm.
like I'm gonna be doing lessons on in the university out of this book. I might make this a mandatory textbook for the next university. You follow what I'm saying? But this bad boy cost 150 bucks last time I checked. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I'm gonna have to replace
Yeah. If the
mine too
internet,
because I just want a better copy of it.
if the internet ever go down, I'm screwed.
Why you say that?
I got to get some hard copies. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like
yeah,
I
definitely.
access a lot of stuff on the internet. So, but
Yeah. But this
yeah,
book
and
right here,
also
you'll love this one, bro James. If I find one, I'll get it for you. You know what I mean?
right, yeah. The key is trying to figure. Some of them take it literally. Like they'll talk about these gods are interchangeable throughout the cultures. Right, you'll see all these similarities, and a lot of them. What I've been seeing just with they're personified. They're not talking about literal beings, but they are. They look at it as like aspects of how would you even put this? They look at spirits as just like thoughts. Like this is like throughout history, mankind has evolved in their perception and the way they look at things, and they call those deities. That's a
Right.
modern way of them looking at it. I don't know if that's how the ancients looked at it. We know that there were literal giants pre-flood, but I think they're trying to erase that literal interpretation so they can mask the fact that these entities or these things they're tapping into today are those giants of past. You know what I'm saying? So
Those
they're always
spirits.
right. They're always trying to tweak the actual truth to get people to embrace like the concept of things, to embrace it. Like if you want people to like do seances or either let's say alter their consciousness or meditate and touch something, you don't want them thinking it's an entity. You just want to be like, oh, it's just a part of the universe, a higher consciousness of like it's a way to get to the source. All you're doing is tapping into a source. You're not really like it would be like the ancient world. They would like instead of saying you talking to a demon or a random spirit, they'd be like you talking to your grandma. They would use
Right.
like yeah your what do you call ancestry worship. I think they morph it today as um like archetypes, like they're just higher levels of consciousness, but they call them archetypes. They're not exactly. They don't view it as autonomous beings. They view it more like it's a source or like a tractor, like it's a tool, like something you can tap into. So a demon is not an autonomous being to them. It's just like the force, like in Star Wars, you can tap into it and you can use it for
Mhm.
good or for evil. It's not an autonomous being that is trying to use you. So that opens the door for you to kind of like embrace that stuff and do that. That's what I'm seeing, through my research, how they package it today.
See, that's demonology that you're dealing with, and that is what
Right.
they're tapping into. And when you look at these celebrities and a lot of stuff, they're on the record and saying, y'all will be surprised how many celebrities have literally said they sold their soul to the devil for success.
Right.
And I don't know if a lot of y'all saw this from my book that I posted online when I said demons adore tension. That was kind of alluding to that because demons adore attention. Satan adores attention, and Satan is not about to give anybody anything without him getting some kind of glory. Y'all got to understand it. These demons love attention. Demons like to parade around. Y'all hear what I'm saying? And they got a lot of pride. They like to parade and they got a lot of pride. You follow what I'm saying? That's what these demons are all about. I want y'all to understand that. I keep telling y'all, when all this transgender stuff came along, how do these transgenders talk? Why do they refer to their pronouns in the plural? Why do they say stuff like, I feel like I was born in the wrong body? I feel like I'm in the wrong body. Anybody ever wonder about that? Let me ask you a question, Brother James. You ever seen the Chucky television series?
You talking?
I can't
Yeah,
hear you,
yeah,
James.
yeah. I can.
You
Somebody
ever
just called me. I just got off. They just, yeah. What'd you say about Chucky?
okay? You ever seen the television series? I know you probably saw the movies, but have you ever
Nah,
seen them?
I vaguely remember the movies. The doll possessed. Yeah.
Anybody else watch the Chucky television series in here? Because it deals with the whole transgender thing and uh non-binary and how that relates to demons. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got a parasite on you. You got somebody who once had. You got a female spirit on a dude. Female
hmm
demon.
And vice
They want
versa.
to be who they want to be. I mean,
And vice versa.
right? Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy. You did that class on the celebrities, man. These people, these demons come from them giants pre-flood, and they were the stars. They were the celebrities and the rulers of the pre-flood era until they wiped each
They
other
were
out.
the renowned, which means
Right.
famous.
Them
Celebrity.
heroes. Your
Exactly.
X-Men.
hmm And see,
Right.
people they don't understand that once these demons. Oh, and by the way, guess what? What does it say about these demons when it come to hunger in the Book of Enoch, Brother James?
Oh, they will hunger and thirst, but they will never be filled.
Oh, mm. That's why I said we got to always be hungry because we got to match that.
Right. That's why sometimes you
See,
see some people morbidly obese, man. That's the evil spirit that wants them to keep eating because he can't get that satisfaction.
can't get it. Yep. Just be eating and eating and eating.
Right.
It's funny, but it's not funny. You know what I'm saying? Just be eating and eating and
Yeah.
eating. Like you see these people on TV, my 600-pound life and all of that stuff, man. That's an
It's
eating demon.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy how you get like that. I wanted to mention also just the fasting is one thing I'm starting to do. It works. I've done it in the past. If does the fasting is also it shrinks your stomach. And what
Mm-hmm.
happens over time, we all want to get satiated, right? So but you'll stretch your stomach out, and over time, you'll just need to eat a little bit more to get satiated. And fasting will actually shrink that stomach down. So when you eat the
Yep.
same amount of food, you will feel full. Like you'll be like, oh man,
Yep.
I can't finish that sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a
That's
great
right.
thing, a great tool.
That's the way God designed it.
Right.
But I'm just letting y'all know, Brother James is another one. We get to talking, man. We'll start getting off into some of everything, man, because he looks behind the veil, so to speak, just like me and Care Butter Dutch do. He looks behind the veil. For all of y'all who are not initiated, y'all probably don't know what that means, but it's a reference back to the temple and the veil separating on the holy from the holy of holies, where only the high priest was allowed to go once a year on the Day of Atonement. So when somebody talks about look behind the veil, that means they're going into that dark place in the temple and really tapping into the secrets and stuff like that. But it wasn't a secret from the rest of Israel. Like they didn't have any secret knowledge, like these masons and stuff he talking about. God was very open with his law. But the Bible does talk about dark mysteries and stuff that only people who really got understanding would know. That's what me and Solo Nation was talking about. That's in the Bible. But appreciate that, brother James. Let's
Yeah,
go
no
on
problem.
to
Peace, everybody, man. Hey, talk about them hot cross buns too when you get a chance,
oh
man.
man,
Dealing with the Hosea and the flagon cakes or the flagons of wines. So that's all tied
exactly
into
for
the
these
stuff. That's it.
no doubt for these gods and stuff that we now do on Easter. All right, there, brother Bill Stir. You gotta say it like that. Bill Stir.
Okay, I don't know if I have a light shined in the correct spot. It's pretty dark out.
You want
I'm
some
in
Blair
Tampa
Witch
right
Project
now.
energy right
What?
now. You want some Blair
Yeah,
Witch Project energy. I don't know if you ever seen that movie.
yeah.
That's an old movie. I'm so
I'm in
startled.
Tampa right now. We got hit by Milton. We don't have power right now. I'm actually in a basketball court right now. I'll try to show you. I don't know if you can see. My camera's not very good,
You're a
but
Floridian?
yeah. We got hit by Hurricane Milton Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and
Dang, I thought Bill was in California.
I'm
Me
not
too,
in
for some
California.
reason.
Uh, so that happens. I've not had a very easy week so far. It was it didn't really sink in until they evacuated the college dormitory that I had nowhere to go for the
Mm-hmm.
evacuation. Like I eventually a friend's family took me in. I was staying at their house, but I don't think I've been that scared in my life before. I
So what's the condition of your house right now?
my house I'm from Chicago originally. I'm
Mhm.
in Florida for college. Like we're fine. I don't
Oh,
know
you was
what's
on the
up with the
dorms. You
dormitory.
lived in the dorms.
Yeah, I live in the dorms. Yeah.
So what the dorms looking like?
They're not letting us back in. They're cleaning it up. They will let us in like at the beginning, sometime next week.
Mm-hmm.
Classes are gonna be asynchronous, and so like that's a plus. But oh man, I've never known such kindness and mercy from my friend's family who took me in when no one else would, and
That's a
I'm
blessing,
thankful for
man.
that. I really am.
I didn't
And
even know that you were in Florida, man. You know, I'm up here worried
yeah,
about all my peeps that was in Florida. I thought you was like Kev but the said, like in California or something, man. You right in the eye of the hurricane.
yeah,
I'm surprised you can do a live stream from there. If it was going
it's
on
at
today, you probably would
nighttime.
have came on doing the live stream.
Yeah, it's at nighttime. People are not using the cellular as much. Most power is out through Hillsborough County. Um, but yeah, we're recovering. Hopefully, the majority of the county is going to get the power back. Um, People are kind of in like an end of the world mentality here. Like I
Of
was at
course.
Publix, or like the my friend's family. We went to the Publix. Someone stole someone else's shopping cart because they were like, panicked that they weren't going to get enough supplies. Just right there in front of everyone. It's just,
Sounds like 2020 COVID,
yeah.
Oh
those
I'm
yeah.
kind of
like,
conditions.
See, it's crazy too because what I say in the class today, when people just get hungry, they
mhm.
start getting crazy. They start getting frantic, man. Like that chaos, man. Like somebody come run up in your house if they're hungry and they think you got food, they be willing to kill you for it, or at least seriously injure you. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But see, Billster good. See, Billster, he walks in the night. You follow what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I didn't want to be inconsiderate and keep you guys in the dark like 2 weeks ago. So I brought a flashlight.
Oh
So
yeah, he good this time.
yeah. Uh,
Is this one of your night walks that you go on?
yes, this is from the location of where my friend's house is. I'm in like a basketball court of an elementary school. It's disused. The school doesn't have power yet. There's still like branches and wreckage across the court. They haven't cleaned it up yet, but you can't see it if I try to show you it. But
You get all kind of nicknames in the chat. The Night Walker, Shadow Prancer.
yeah,
You follow what I'm saying?
thank you so much for that. And
Mm-hmm.
what I wanted to ask you was this is a question I had 2 weeks ago. I was kind of saving it, but this is one of the questions I had back from um, what does proper Sabbath following look like? How do you uphold the Sabbath properly? Because
Well,
like,
as the commandment tells you in Exodus 20, is two things:
mhm,
no work, right, for anybody, you,
got it.
your wife, not even your animals, and a holy gathering. That's like what we're doing now, where everybody go to church or come online and study the word together. That's what it
Okay.
looks like.
And I'm only asking this because 2 weeks ago, that was when I was walking along the country road outside of a Christian gathering.
Mm-hmm.
When it was pitch black. I met a Seventh Day Adventist guy who had a different view on the Sabbath, and it made me consider that. Yeah, there's a lot of different takes on the Sabbath, and I'm wondering what is extra and what is not, because he abstained from all the amenities that people were taking part in, and just sat in his room all day waiting for the next holy meeting. And that's when he would come out. I don't think he ate anything that day. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
was an extreme worship of the Sabbath. But like, is that
Which is,
necessary for the Sabbath, or is that something extra? Something, you know?
well, the Pharisees were the same way. They would add a lot of other extra things on the Sabbath to the point where they made the Sabbath a burden, right? If it's not in the law, it's something extra. Now, extra don't always mean bad. For instance, the Jews came up with something not in the law called a Sabbath day's journey. This limited the amount of distance you were allowed to travel on the Sabbath. because they figured that if you traveled a certain amount of distance on the Sabbath, after a while it became strenuous. It became work. So they called it a Sabbath day's journey, right? That's not a
Mhm.
bad idea, and that's not burdening anybody either, but that's not mandatory. See, everything that the Jews came up with were not bad that they added. The only stuff that's bad that they added is the stuff that goes against God's law. But there's a lot of little addendums they made here and there that make sure you kept God's law. Like the Jews came up with a law about when they started to like shut the gates before sundown, before the Sabbath, right? There's nothing in the Sabbath law specifically that says when you're supposed to start shutting the gates. But they used their own judgment and came up with a rule. We're going to shut the gates around this time before the Sabbath. You read about that like in Josephus, right? They
Mhm.
did that. That's a nice little addendum, and it don't go against God's law. But when you start doing extra stuff that goes against God's law, that's where you have a problem. If your friend just want to just chill up in his room, staring at the wall or whatever, until he decide to go to church, he ain't hurt nobody and he ain't going against God's law. Now, if he tell you you have to do what he's doing, now he's going against God's law because he made a personal addition and he's making it mandatory for
Yeah.
everybody, right? But there's nothing
Mhm.
wrong with him doing that. Oh, somebody
God,
said Darth Bilster. Darth Bilster.
I like that one.
Yes,
Okay,
that's
so
brave.
it's just those two. It's just the no work on the Sabbath for anyone, not your employees, not you, and the Holy Gathering.
Yes. Anything else you
Okay.
read in the Bible that could be violated falls under one of those two principles. Like if you read where it say you don't have to, you're not supposed to kindle a fire on the Sabbath. That's under the principle of don't work, because back then they had to work to build a fire. If you've ever gone camping before and built a fire from
Yeah.
scratch, which I have done, that's a lot of work. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with no matches, like try to make it happen, that's a lot of work. Rubbing sticks together and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you do it. No work, holy convocation.
Um, can you see in the distance, or is my camera not good enough?
I can see some lights in the distance, some
Yeah,
small lights in the
they got power. Oh my gosh.
They got power back on, right? When you was on the
Yeah.
stream
Oh,
with us.
wait. There's our street. I'm checking our street. 1 second. Oh my gosh.
He's running towards the light, y'all.
Oh my
This is
gosh.
pure
We have it.
found footage.
Look, light.
He's running toward the light.
They have
I
it.
don't know if we want you to
They
run toward the
restored it.
light yet. Not yet, Bill. We want you to stay around a little longer.
Okay.
Don't go toward the light.
Right.
Don't go toward the light
Sometimes
yet, Bill.
sometimes the
You
light
got it.
at the end of the tunnel is a train.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just.
Are they on?
Oh no. Is that what I look like?
Yeah, it's like some lights were in the distance.
Okay. Oh my
Y'all got
god.
power?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I see it. It looks like it.
I see it too.
we have power. They restored it. Okay.
See, he got on the screen,
People
got to
said they
talk
weren't
with
gonna
us.
fix it till Thursday. This is great.
See, it's because you was on here and we talking about fasting and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Praise God for that, man.
Praise
Oh my
God.
gosh.
Bill to say he happy. he
Thank you
literally
guys
he
so
literally
much.
jumped for joy.
Thank you guys so much for being here. But thank you for answering the question.
No doubt.
I'm so happy right now. I'm sorry.
Go get you something to eat or go cook
A hot
something
shower.
in
They
your
have the
dorm.
water temperature. The heater works.
Oh man, yeah. Ooh, yeah, do that. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
The boiled water notice is probably still around, but it's fine.
Bills to say
Thank you.
he was happy. That man was Did y'all see this man running? He was running.
Right.
He was happy. He was rejoicing, running toward the city. You would have thought he was going to New Jerusalem or something.
Okay.
All
So
right,
thank
then,
you
Bills,
everyone
be good
on
too, man.
on the prism.
No doubt. rectangular prism. What's going on?
Yo,
What up, Prism?
what up? I gotta fix my. Okay, never mind. Um, hey guys, I got a
Hey, Prism.
couple questions.
Mm-hmm.
Around salvation.
Okay.
And I think I'd heard you say this before, but I wanna just get this straight. We're judged by our works, but justified by faith, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Justified is talking about the initial activity. Like Jesus justified us. And he continues to justify us when we sin, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you're still judged by what you do.
Right.
And those works are now under the understanding of you knowing what the gospel is. The wicked gonna still get judged by their works too. But everybody gets judged according to their works.
Okay. Um. So, like recently, like I'm starting to. I think I'm feeling convicted like less and less. Like every time I'm sinning, like I've been distanced or something, and I've had less
Hmm.
drive to read the Bible or something like that.
Well, what particular sins are making you feel distant?
I really don't know. School just started. I don't know if I haven't had any real big changes in things, so I don't. I just been feel. I like don't feel conviction.
Well, is there a particular sin that you keep doing over and over again that you don't care about?
No. There's a sin I
Okay.
keep doing over and over. I lost. I struggle with lust. To be point blank.
Aren't you like 13, 14?
14. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's normal for a 14-year-old, young man to struggle with stuff like that, especially in a public school where these little girls are walking around totally exposed. I remember when
Hmm.
I was in high school, you know, I'm 44. And when I was in high school, they had a very laxed dress code. I'll never forget these two girls came to school one time and they were wearing condoms like on the outside of like their belt or something, like packets of them, right? And they let them get away with that, right? They used to
That's
wear those
crazy.
tennis skirts, right? And I know it's even wilder now. So you're under a lot of temptation and you're being provoked. It's not like you go to a school, even with the Catholic school, some of these girls are getting risque with how high up they're letting their skirts go, right?
Right.
So you might have to just divert your eyes, bro, or stop. That's why I don't like public school, because I basically think that anything with public with it is some bull. Ain't worth nothing. Public school,
Hmm.
public restroom, public housing, public library. You throw the word public in it, it's some trash,
Yeah.
right?
Not wrong.
But you're not to blame for what they're doing there. You're being tempted
Right.
big time. You follow what I'm saying? So you just got to just divert your eyes, man, and try to stay focused, man, because that's gonna be
Yeah.
hard.
But are there things I can do to kind of repair my relationship with the Most High? Because like honestly, I've just been feeling so distant, and like I feel like my conviction's dwindling. But I know I shouldn't base my faith off of feelings, but like it's so hard to stay faithful when I can't even like I don't feel like on fire like I used to.
Right. You just got to try to pray every day, pray every night before you go to sleep, right? And ask for forgiveness.
Right.
That's all you can do. And wake up with a new mindset the next morning and to try to do better. Because
Right.
nobody's perfect. We all sin every day, or most of us do. And most of the sins that a lot of people do is not deliberate. Like Kev the Dutch don't wake up in the morning saying, "How am I gonna sin against the Most High today?"
Right.
He doesn't do that. If he does sin, it's gonna be an accident or it's gonna be reactionary. But it's not premeditated like that. Not with
Mm-hmm.
any servant of God. So you can't beat yourself up too bad when you know you're out here trying and you slip up. You just got to pray, ask for forgiveness, get up the next day, keep it moving. You can't
Right.
do it. See, what a lot of people do, they're so scared to get out the graces of God that when they make one mistake, one sin, they just get stuck on that. You know what I mean? They just get
Yeah.
stuck on that, right?
Right.
But you got to be able to move forward, right? It's like if you're taking a test and it's 100 questions on the test. What do they tell you if you're taking a test, Prism, and you don't know the answer to the first question? What do they tell you to do? If it's multiple choice, what do they tell you to do?
They tell you to
Anybody remember?
some it depends. I've been told take an
Skip to the
educated.
next one.
Oh, never mind.
They said skip to the next one. They tell you in the chat. You skip to the next one. You come back to that one. You don't waste all your test time on a question that you don't know. You skip that one, right? Because then you're gonna get stuck on that one question, and then your time gonna run out, and you're gonna fail the whole test.
Right.
What you do is you skip that and you keep moving, and you answer the ones you can. Now take that into the analogy of what I'm trying to give you. You're stuck on one or a couple of particular sins that you did, and you're stuck on that instead of trying to move on and deal with the stuff you do know and can handle.
Right.
Some people struggle with with some things more than others. The stuff that you're struggling with less represents the questions on the test you know the answer to, right?
Right.
Focus on that. Don't get stuck on those sins that you know you're struggling with the most. Focus on the ones that you struggle with the least, then come back to them. Or focus on them all together. I'm not telling you to leave it undone, leave it all undone. You follow what I'm saying? I'm just telling you
Yeah.
don't get stuck on it. And I see a lot of people do that. Yeah, man, 2 years ago I did this, man. Did you pray about it? Yeah. Did you ask for forgiveness? Yeah. Okay, man, keep it moving. Okay. But yeah, man, that sin I did. No, no, no. Your time is running out. You're stuck on that. Go ahead and go through the other part of the test. Answer those questions. Come back to that. And you ain't got
Right.
to go all the way to the end of the test. You can answer the next 10 questions, and then I'm going to go back to that number one, see if I can take a shot at it again. So
Okay.
that makes sense, Prism?
Yeah. And then this one can be as simple as a yes or no. But is my understanding of the unforgivable sin correct? It's attributing something to a demon that is done by the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Okay. And then I know you've done a class on this, and if someone in the chat could send me this, but if you could summarize it in a couple quick things, and I know I've talked about this to you before, but what is a reprobate? And if someone could send that link to that class in the chat, it'd be great. Greatly appreciate
The
it.
word reprobate just means reject.
Right.
So if God calls you a reprobate, what does that mean?
You're rejected by God.
Exactly. And somebody with a reprobate mind means a mind of rejection or a rejected man. So when you talk about a reprobate mind, that means that's that strong delusion that God put on people who keep sinning on purpose. And it makes their mind reject God.
How would you
You
know if you're a
understand?
reprobate?
Well, because you would sin deliberately and not care.
So you'd be like, you'd wake up and say, "I'm gonna do this," and then you'd be like, "That was fine."
I don't know if you'll just say it like that, but you just be sinning and not caring. And nobody would be able to tell you anything. You just be like, it is what it is. There's a lot of reprobates walking around here. A lot of these transgender people, they're reprobates. Because you show them. It's not just because of what they're doing. It's when you show them.
Right.
They're reprobate. Like they see the truth. Reprobates see the truth and they just reject it, even though they can see. They don't even debunk it. They're like, well, no, I'm not gonna do that.
So an example of someone who wouldn't be reprobate would be someone who sees the truth, accepts the truth, and then just does it. Right.
Just sees the truth and what?
Like, so someone who isn't a reprobate would be someone who sees the truth and then acts on it.
Who isn't reprobate?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would believe it
Right.
and
Okay.
and follow it. But a
Okay.
reprobate person is somebody who despises the truth or they don't want to learn the truth.
Right.
And God put that strong delusion on them. So if God put that strong delusion on them, there's nothing we can do.
Right. And so if you're a reprobate, you wouldn't care that you were a reprobate if you knew you were a reprobate.
No, you wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care. If someone straight up told you, "Hey man, you're a reprobate," you would be like, "I don't care."
Or they'll be like, whatever. Yep. They wouldn't care. Or they might even just deny it.
Right.
But either way, they wouldn't care to the point where they try to correct what they got wrong.
Right.
That's that strong delusion prism that God puts on people. We
Well,
can't
that's
take that off.
freaky and
That's why
so
I don't argue
scary.
with reprobates. It is. It is. That's when
So,
God take
okay.
that Holy Spirit away from you.
Dang. If he takes it away, can you give it back?
Possibly.
Yeah, but that would make
And if
sense.
you look in the chat, Prism, somebody put in the chat the class that you were asking about. The link to the
Yeah,
chat.
I know. I thanked him for it.
Okay.
Okay, dude. Okay, I'll be completely straight. I think I've told you this before. I got obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm sure you know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I get freaked out on a bunch of stuff. Like before.
Like are you super OCD?
Yeah. Yes. It's
Mm-hmm.
not fun. But like before I was Christian, I'd be like worrying about. I'd like go on my computer and like look up asteroids that are hitting Earth or something, and I obsess over those for like a week until it didn't happen. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
do stuff like that, and I get
You'd be
freaked
surprised.
out.
You'd be surprised how many people suffer from obsessive compulsive disorder and don't even realize it.
Yeah,
They're
I didn't even
not.
realize it.
These are the people always online, looking for conspiracy theories and getting worried about it. I'm not talking about people that just look at it for a hobby or just out of
Yeah,
interest. These are people that are always worried about what the you know, the upper people are doing.
yeah,
Right? The higher
right.
ups. That's what I meant to say. They were about the higher ups and always thinking everything is a conspiracy. Like I had some people send me some information. They think that the weather that happened in Florida was man made. So they
Yeah,
thinking man controlling the weather and stuff like that, which they might be, but that was a flood. They tracked it and everything. Not a flood, but that was a hurricane. They tracked it and everything. Right? You got people, Prism, who are walking around here in a constant state of worry and fear.
right.
And they go out into the world and they spread it. At least to you, Prism, it seems like you kept your stuff to yourself. Like you didn't get in front of a camera and jump on TikTok and start telling people about all your fears, did you?
No, I've never done that.
Right. But that's what a lot of them do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do
Right.
you take any medication?
Yeah, I'm on I'm on fluoxetine.
Right. You seem like you're pretty okay long as you stay on your meds, but you can't
Yeah.
get to the point where you're just in a constant state of worry. You follow
Well,
what
I
I'm
was
saying? You
like
need to
that a
meditate,
couple months ago.
stay on your meds. Right. And I'm glad that you're under control now.
Yeah.
But no, you're not a reprobate. A reprobate person wouldn't even care. Reprobate person wouldn't even ask.
Thank
That's
you.
how they are.
Thank
Like, and here's how you know, Prism. How many of y'all in the chat thinks that these gay people don't know being gay is a sin? How many of y'all think they don't know in the chat? How many of y'all think don't know? How many of y'all think they do know that what they're doing is a sin? According to the Bible, of course they know. So why they just do it anyway? Prism,
you. Reprobate.
right? They don't care, and then they're
Right.
proud of it. That's another thing. That's another thing how you know these people are reprobate. They're not just sinning against God; they're proud of it,
And they're like bragging about it with all these parades and
right? Bragging about it.
crap.
You know,
Yeah.
I think it talks in the Bible about the pride of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep, that's in Ezekiel 16. But it wasn't talking about the actual Sodom and Gomorrah. It was talking about how the children of Israel had took on that name. But okay, then, Prism, I'm going to go to the last person for the night, Isaiah AC.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, this is the Prodigy, by the way. That's his new nickname, the Prodigy Prism, because he's the youngest guy who comes on here consistently. The Prodigy Prism, right? Isaiah AC, A.B.T, A.I. What's up? You got to unmute yourself, Isaiah.
Hello?
I can hear you now, bro. What's going on with your Isaiah AC, A.B.T, A.I? That's a lot of letters.
What's good, Brother Josh?
You trying to challenge the LGBTQ plus with all these letters you got on the back of your name? Trying to give them some competition?
I'm sure they beat me by a good 50 letters.
Yeah, they had the letter a day. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be in the Greek alphabet in a minute.
I wanted to ask you the name of the author of that mythology book that you was talking about.
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, they got more than one author. Books like this typically do. Let me see what I got here. Uh it just says it's general editor C. Scott Littleton.
C.
And it tells you, yeah, C, the letter C, Scott Littleton. And they tell you who the authors are, like
I
when you
found it.
go, it's more than one. Who are the authors at?
I found the book.
You found it?
Yeah.
Oh, we already don't found it. How much it cost?
Let me look at the price. Like $31.
Oh, cool. Definitely been marked down. That's a used one or a brand new one?
I think this one is new.
Okay. And what edition is it?
You said what?
What edition is it?
It doesn't give an
I think it
edition.
calls it editions. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, go ahead and get that. Add it to your personal library. You need it.
I just put the Amazon link in the chat.
You went to Amazon and what?
I put the Amazon link in the chat.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. And
Everybody need to get a hand on that book.
oh yeah, Brother Josh, I got me a job at the Taco Bell.
Really?
Yeah.
When you start?
I already started. My first day was Thursday. This
That's what's
previous
up,
Thursday.
man. What the hours looking like?
5 to 9 p.m. because I get off school like the last bell rings at like 3:55. So 5 to
Man,
9
hell of a
p.m.
job.
Yeah, and I get Fridays and Saturdays off too. That's what we agreed
Hey,
upon. So
Did
Yeah.
you say Taco Bell?
Yep, the Seiko Bell.
Oh man, I love me some cheesy gordita crunches, man. You know what I'm saying? I messes with them and them chalupas. You follow what I'm saying? See, I can't see when I was like 17 or 18, I could work in a fast food job then, but now, man, I'd be fat. Cause I'd be tearing that food up, bro.
Yeah, we
You know
get
what I'm
free
saying? I'd be
30% off.
I'd be killing that. Just a little bit space, just a little bit hungry. I'm gonna eat after I finish talking to Isaiah AC.
You've been talking about food this
Air
whole class,
conditioning.
Josh.
Because it's a fasting class. I mean,
But I'm talking about you. You specifically talking about you eating somebody's baby or something.
oh, I was saying that if I was in the famine, I was just saying, man, if I was in the famine, man, come on, man. Like, some of y'all walking around, y'all know y'all let me just see how many people in the chat got any children that's we'll just say 2 years old and under. That includes you too, Kev, but it does. How many of y'all got any children 2 year old and under?
Oh, 2 years old and under.
Yeah. How
Just
old is your
one.
youngest, Kev, but it does?
My youngest is a year old, so just him.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Is he still in diapers?
Yes, he is.
So when he run around the house with them diapers on, you see them little turkey legs, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. He's not running yet. He's crawling, but he's getting close. Yeah.
Oh, if he crawls, he definitely got some turkey legs because he ain't got a chance to walk around and really get them toned out yet. So they still tender. Who else said me too, bro? Who else said me too? You got a child. That's what I'm saying. You know, they were eating babies like, we eat chicken. I mean, they just were. They were hungry, man. Like, that's what I was talking about, Isaiah AC. You
Oh
know what
my
I'm saying?
god.
I like, man, like I was like, man, in the famine, I would have been there with them too. When you have what would you have done, Isaiah AC, if you were
I
there with them? What you would have did?
I don't know what I would have done. I do not know.
You would have been hungry. You would have been hungry.
I definitely would have been
You
hungry.
know that part, right?
I don't know if I can
You
do it,
know what I'm
man. I'm
saying?
thinking about my baby cousin. I don't know if I can do it.
You ain't never been that hungry before. I don't know if I can do it. I ain't never. I just be joking and stuff, right? Because little babies and stuff. You know, I always play with them like that. Like I see them little turkey legs. Let me get on turkey leg. I be messing with them like that anyway. I already call them turkey legs. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be in a real dark place because you do know it ain't just the eating the babies. You got to murder them first.
Yeah.
Y'all understand what I'm saying? They didn't boil the children alive like lobsters. You know, they had to kill these babies. I know it's a dark thing to think about, especially if you got like some youngsters walking around the house, like around, Kevin the Dust youngest or younger. But we don't think about how gruesome and dark that was, how grim our God can get when we push him to that point. I don't ever want to see that side of God.
And that's the thing right there. Like for 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 God to bring that curse upon Israel just shows you how much they just were not keeping the word of God, man. Like particularly that idolatry. They just did what they wanted to
Right.
do every day, day in, day out. Conscience got hard, and they received an appropriate judgment.
Exactly. And it didn't happen instantly. See, people, we got to understand, God did not make the children of Israel resort to cannibalism 1 month after they messed up. A lot of the stuff you read about happening to the children of Israel when they got that bad, this is generation after generation after generation of being warned. You follow what I'm saying? Perfect example would be like if Caleb of the Dust is warning me right now, Brother Joshua, 2024, October the 12th, 2024. warning Brother Josh, hey, you in this generation, y'all need to stop this idolatry, right? All this stuff with cannibalism may not even go into effect until like 2034, 10 years later. But God spent the 10 years warning each generation, telling them to stop, 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 stop. And they weren't listening, right? So God gives plenty of time to repent. Stop messing with these idols. Keep my laws. Nope, we're not going to do it. But y'all see what happens, Isaiah, when God finally get fed up. He put you in a bad position, like that cannibalism, boy. It's Christians today and other believers that just can't square that with God. Like they just can't make that make sense with the God we serve. And I get it. I really do, but he did that. All because of what? Because hunger humbles. But you got another question, Isaiah? Okay, but does you about to say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna comment on that. Well, Isaiah, go ahead, ask your question,
No,
man. It's your
no,
time.
it's good. You go. You go ahead.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say, Josh, to your point about people not being able to, you know, understand how God can be quote unquote cruel. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that people don't really hate sin the way that they need, especially in this country, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
something like idolatry. We'll just take idolatry because God hates idolatry. I mean, you can go
Mm,
back to Deuteronomy 13, and Moses had told the Israelites, essentially, thus said the Lord, hey, if somebody in your if somebody in your family, says to you, hey, let's go serve other gods, like what they were supposed to
mm-hmm.
do is take that family member, whether it be son, daughter, wife, you know, your best friend, whatever, whoever you cherish, and bring them to the elders, stone them first. Like you had to be the first person to throw the stone. And then, like, I would imagine the rest of the elders or whoever was around had to finish the job, right? And then in other
Mm,
situations, if if somebody within a city, or if a city was like collectively practicing idolatry and people heard about it, like from other cities, they were commanded to go to that city, kill everybody there, burn it down, and never rebuild. This is this is stuff straight out the Bible, right? And a lot of this was over
mm-hmm.
idolatry in particular. Most people today, especially Christians, they don't care about idolatry. They tend to only care about the sins that hurt other people. But if it's sins that don't hurt other people, like idolatry, but bothers God, then they're kind of like
Mm-hmm.
whatever. That's how they are.
Exactly. And we got to understand, man, that how can I say this? God got feelings too. And he
Right.
feels a certain way about stuff we do that pertain directly to him. The first four of the 10 commandments are all commandments that pertain to how you treat God. The last six pertain to how you treat your fellow man, right? So God don't play about this idolatry, man. So look how long the Catholics been doing what they've been doing with idolatry. What y'all think gonna finally happen when God just finally get all the way fed up?
They gonna be cooked.
Man, y'all hear what I'm saying? That's why we trying to tell y'all, man. Like, ain't none of us perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. Kelvin Dust don't claim to be perfect. But yo, when I be trying to give y'all advice and tell y'all stuff this book say, y'all gotta understand. I know that if God know that you know right from wrong and go out and just act up anyway, it ain't gonna end pretty. I mean, the children of Israel will cry. I mean, what did we read today? Little children dying in the streets, dying in the streets, dying in their mother's arms, women eating afterbirth. Look, oh my God, that's how bad it got.
Mm.
Yeah, we read that today. That's how bad it got. You know, that's awful. And God did that. all because we didn't want to keep that law, and now that's the main thing they want to get rid of. I don't even want to think about how brutal it's gonna be when Jesus come back. That's brutal. But go ahead, Isaiah.
It's a quick question. It's not the one I had, but this is a quick question. Because I know some people like today like eat the placenta. Is that? I mean, that's not really cannibalism, is it?
No, that's just gross.
Okay.
The placenta is not the baby itself.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All
Yeah,
right.
but that's just gross. I
This
mean,
is
that'll be like me eating your toenail clippings.
yeah, that's nasty.
Exactly. It's just nasty. You feel me? Somebody said Blister said placenta gives him the ick.
All
Yeah, I
right,
would say. Oh, go ahead, Isaiah.
like you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, for y'all that don't have kids yet, when you do, like, do what I did, man. Don't look at any of what's going on when your child's being born into the world. Like, I've heard too many horror stories. So, like, when my first child was born, I did not look. I looked away. You know what I
He
mean? Like,
averted his eyes.
exactly. I'm not looking at placentas. I'm not looking at blood. I'm not looking down there,
Afterbirth.
bro. I'm not looking at none of it, dude. Do it to
Oh,
yourself.
it's beautiful. I don't care what nobody say. The miracle of birth is not beautiful.
Nah,
I don't
not at
care what
all.
they say. I appreciate it. Maybe one day the Most High put it on my spirit to see it as I get that it's beautiful in what it's bringing into the world. I get that, but a bunch of blood dripping and stuff everywhere. I don't know in what
Exactly.
world that's beautiful. And a woman screaming in pain. How is that beautiful? Especially when you consider that in the Bible, it always compares the worst pain to a woman in travail.
Right.
You know, that's like the worst of the worst pain. No, it's not beautiful, ladies. No, it's not. It's the process, I guess you could say, is beautiful, but the actual
Right.
act, no,
Nah.
no.
Like even the umbilical cord, that looks gross. Like
Exactly. All that. You want to cut that umbilical cord? Do I have to?
that's what I said with my last one, man. Like my third born, because I've been avoiding it like the whole time, and then they got me. They were like, "Oh, they're
You did
like,
not say that. You did not say,
huh?"
do I have to? You did not
Yeah, I
say,
said,
do
"Do
I have
I have
to?
to, bro?" I definitely said that. I was like,
Hey,
"Do I have to?" Like, and then they were like, "Nah," but then they gave me the scissors or whatever. I'm like, "Fine," you know. And oh, it's like the blood, bro. It's like, oh my god.
you could you cut it bad one like this.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I was like, oh my goodness, man. Like this thing is weird.
Hey, Kevin the
So
Dust, you want to hear something crazy?
what happened now?
So you want to hear something horrific, something
Oh, go
crazy?
ahead. I'm all
My
ears.
mom, she knows a family member. I'm pretty sure she was watching her give birth, and I think she was having multiple kids at a time, or maybe one of them,
Oh,
like their head was just really big. What'd you say?
I said, oh, but go ahead.
Mm.
Yeah, and the one when it came out, her vagina it split, like it split. It was like blood, and the doctors they had to I think they had to staple it back together.
Yep.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. Yes. My shout out to all the women
For
who have
real.
had natural births. When I say natural, I mean they had to get them cut out like through a C-section. Shout out to all y'all, especially y'all with multiple kids. Y'all are some G's. Y'all some gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Because motherhood ain't no joke. I do not want to switch places with y'all.
At
I be
all.
seeing these guys on social media. They got all these apparatuses where men can experience what it feels like to be pregnant. Like they can strap this harness on so they can feel what it's like to be pregnant. I ain't trying to experience that. God didn't put that on me. You, you follow what I'm saying? That's all you. You know, don't try to make me try to share the experience, understand what she going through. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, what you want me to know what she going through? So you want me wearing a dress like her too?
That's not a cross you want to
Yeah.
bear.
That's how it all starts with them trying to make us feel like them. We're
But
not
you know
supposed
it's
to feel the
weird.
way you feel.
You know it's weird, like, because I mean, I heard people say this before, I became a dad. But when you see your wife pregnant with your child, dealing with all the birth pains and all of that, right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
give birth and like within, at least in my wife's case, several months later, be like, okay, I'm good. I want to do that again. Like, what?
Exactly.
Like,
What?
yeah, exactly. It's like praise God because we want more children, but it's like, dang, man, like women are special, dude. Like to be able to go through
That,
that
that,
for
wo- that
9 months,
woman really love you, man. That's what that means. When
praise
a
God.
woman tells you she want to have your baby and she know what's in store and still be
Yeah.
like, run it, that's some love right there.
Just it's funny you mentioned that. So like in college, my wife and I, we joke about this all the time, but in college, my wife used to say like she wanted a bunch of mini me's. Like, she'd say stuff like I want Kevin, I just want a bunch of you and she said no, she used to say, Kevin, I want you to be in my pocket so you can't go anywhere ever. So I'm like, okay, like so
Trying to lock you down.
real like but then like she would talk about just wanting to obviously have my children and having a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of mini me's as she used to say. So like all of my kids pretty much look like me. And even like my family members have said, hey, like Nicole, you were a good vessel. You were a good vessel.
Mm-hmm.
And even my wife's like, how come none of these kids look like me? I'm like, well, didn't you say you want a bunch of mini Kevins? Like, I don't know what to tell you.
That's
I
what
don't
you
know what to
got.
tell you. That's what you got. God's listening. What do you want? What do you want me to do? He heard
Exactly.
you.
I don't
So,
even know if the world even ready for like more than two hairs of the dust. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we almost, God almost sent another flood when, Mr. Ison had Kevin. You follow what I'm saying? That was almost too much for the world with just Mr. Ison and Kev of the dust. Then you threw Troy into the mix. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Hey,
I
I
don't
got
know.
him
We
like
ain't
my
ready.
wife and I, we got it all planned out, man. Like, because let me see here. Lord willing, because we got 3 kids now. We want to see if we get to 6. Um,
Woo.
and we're trying to get it in the right order. So, like after 3 kids, we wanted 2 boys and a girl, and we got that. Albeit, we wanted we thought the girl was gonna be third born, but she ended up being the second born.
Mm-hmm.
So going forward, I think I want another daughter, but if we go to 6, 2 more sons. Like I always want more sons than daughters, since the daughters you give away, the sons to carry on the name. So like we got the
Mm-hmm.
names planned out, but the reason why I'm saying this is because I really think there's power in names. And so far, all of the names, like the names of our children, like you see characteristics that are related to their name in them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And like I've had dreams about this stuff too. Like if the next one's a son, it's gonna be, oh my goodness, like we might not have a
What name
house
you got
left.
for him?
I can't get that away right now, not over the airways, brother. Not over there. Can't give that away.
Somebody
But we
might
got it.
hijack
Yeah,
it.
or more so than that, like, my wife and I, we decide, hey, we don't tell people the names of the children that we want to have until, she's pregnant with them, and then, we'll tell them. But yeah, man, just it's a special thing. But hey, yeah, Axel's tough, man. Like he's pretty intelligent. But my
Mhm.
youngest son, man, oh my, he's just banging. He gonna be banging people around, bro. I'm gonna have to get a hold of it. I can already tell. So,
Oh man. What's your youngest name again?
Onyx.
Onyx, yeah,
So,
like the stone.
yep, exactly.
Every, every time I hear Onyx, I think about that big old rock thing on Pokemon. That thing
Yep,
is
exactly. That's not why we named him. I actually forgot about that, but yeah,
yeah,
that
onyx is
Pokemon
just the name
Onyx,
of the stone, like from the Bible. That's where they got it
yeah,
from anyway. Not the Bible, just the precious stone. But
yep,
when you think about, and you said pushing around like the Pokemon onyx,
yeah.
yeah, he fit the description of that Pokemon onyx. That I used to be scared of that thing. I remember the first time I
Really?
saw Brock. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Cause think about it. In the early season of Pokemon, you seen Pikachu's and Charmanders. You know these
True.
little cute little things. Ash get to his first gym leader, Brock. I choose you, Onyx. What the heck? That
Yeah,
ain't even fair. Have you
yeah.
seen Onyx, Isaiah?
Yeah,
You see how
He's
that's like a giant rock snake.
he do.
he's like the
Was he
size of
scared of Gyarados?
Gyarados. Yeah, he's like Gyarados, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's like the first gym leader you come across. That thing look creepy. Y'all ever just looked at Onyx before? And then they have the nerve in another season to create Steelix. Like as
Yeah.
if Onyx wasn't scary enough. That thing look crazy, man. Onyx, like you don't supposed to have a Pokemon that big that early in the game. And I remember he had to fight poor Pikachu. Pikachu, he yoked Pikachu out. He squeezed him like a snake. He squeezed like a python. You know what I'm
Yeah, send
saying?
him right back to the
Pikachu had to tap.
Pokeball.
Right? Return. I
Yeah.
never forget he first brought Onyx out. I'm like, really? You know, a rat versus a sea monster, right? So you say Onyx, that's what that made me think of. You know, that thing scared me when I first seen that thing. You know, I ain't scared to admit it. It's still a little creepy to me today. You know, I'm over the field, but I'm just like, it's still a little creepy,
Well, my
right?
son, my youngest, he banging stuff around. Like I mean, all babies like kind of stress test things, but this one in particular, it's like, oh my God, you can't have this dude around nothing, man. Do.
Exactly.
Throw
You don't
here,
play
throw there.
football. You
Exactly.
don't play
Just
football.
banging stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let
I'm saying, man, I
the
call them
boys
blessings. That's them baby
slam.
blessings, man.
Ah, yeah. Brother James. Hey, exactly. It's funny you mentioned that. He said, let the boys be boys, slam. Y'all, a lot of y'all too young for that. Y'all don't know about that. Y'all don't know about that. Slam. Yeah. Real.
What you was saying, Isaiah AC? You got one more question or whatever? What you about to ask?
Yeah. All right. So, back in your day, did they have did they have Spirit Week in your school?
Spirit Week, where we had like school show, like school spirit for the team or something like that, or just in general for the school.
Yeah. Like did y'all like do certain days y'all would dress up as like different themes?
You
Well,
mean
we
like
had
team
stuff like
spirit?
we
Cause
had Tacky Day. We had crazy stuff. Did y'all have Tacky Day, Isaiah?
no, I don't think I know what Tacky Day is.
You grow up, you go. Everybody go to school with their clothes not matching.
Ugh.
We do stuff like that. We had Spirit Week too, though. You know, like if I'm thinking about the same thing where we had to like show school spirit and had assemblies and demonstrations and all that stuff. That's what y'all did.
Yes, yeah, something like that. My question was, because I know Halloween be like dressing up as like different themes. Is it
Mm-hmm.
is there anything sinful or pagan about dressing up as like a different person or like participating in something like Spirit Week?
If it's for Halloween, yeah. See, just wearing a costume or like year round, just like going to a costume party or something, or even LARPing. You know what LARPing is, right?
What's that?
LARPing,
Yeah, live
cosplay.
action role play.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, people do that all year round. Gideon actually sent my son to DreamCon, right? Like you go
Yeah,
to DreamCon, Comic Con.
yeah, do
Shout out
cosplay.
to Gideon. Yeah. And they was there, like you would have loved to care for the dust. I wish I could have went. I ended up letting him go with his mom, right? Cause they be there dressed like all their anime characters and everything, man. They be in there doing it. You would have loved it. I'm trying to, God willing, I'm trying to go next year. You follow what I'm saying? But that's a nerd's haven. See, care for the dust and myself, were nerds. And see, we was watching, people say I was doing that when it was cool. See, a lot of people don't even know that anime was originally a nerd thing.
Exactly.
It was a geek thing. We get made fun of. You're watching, manga and stuff. Y'all got to understand something. Nerds rule the world. Y'all think Elon Musk and Bill Gates, they aren't nerds? Those are nerdy dudes. You follow what I'm saying? Nerds rule the world. Y'all young girls, y'all in high school. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see the guy getting all the high grades and stuff, like he's like super intelligent. Y'all better keep an eye on him. That dude gonna be running his own company one day. Look at these nerds, and it's nerdish stuff. Like we declare. I remember when we was in high school, I didn't get into Dragon Ball Z until I was about 17. But I remember when I was like 14 in the ninth grade, Kel, but it does. We had this one chick in our room. She used to be obsessed. I'll never forget her name was Nefertiti. Nefertiti, right? And she the draw. She had her own all girl Dragon Ball manga. She like created her own
Wow.
story, but it was just centered around female. Think about Sailor Moon meets Dragon Ball Z, right?
Like a whole thing, like a whole month.
Like the main cast were just women.
She made like an
You
entire
follow?
book. I'm saying.
Yeah, she drew her own comic. Yeah, her own
Yeah.
comic she was working on, right? And I didn't know anything about Dragon Ball Z back then, right? And we used to clown her, not like cruelly, because she did laugh along with us, because she knew what she was. We like, man, you a nerd, man, you and all that stuff, blah 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 blah. Come to find out, man, she was just ahead of the curve.
Right.
That's all that was.
Although
She
I'll
was ahead
say
of the
this,
curve.
Josh, I don't know how it was when you were growing up in Georgia, but like there was some things like that like it got through the hood barrier. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
Sailor Moon for whatever reason, like brothers weren't really on like anime like that back in those days as a whole, but somehow, brothers knew the Sailor Moon theme song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Fighting
Nirvana,
evil by moonlight.
doom, doom, when in love, like they like,
He
yeah,
is
see,
the
right,
one day Sailor Moon. Oh my goodness. Like
exactly. I'm like, wait, how y'all like the hardest dudes ever? How y'all know the Sailor Moon theme song? So like that got through. When
Yep.
Pokemon showed up, like that was because I was 14 in
Gotta
99.
catch them all, man. Hey,
Exactly.
that
That
dude
got
was singing. I wanna
it
be
was.
the very best. They would do
And
that
no
on purpose.
one ever was. Yeah, he was
Ever
he was
was.
it, yo, he was in it, bro. He was in it.
Yes. They did it on purpose because there wasn't the original Japanese intro.
Right.
They bring this thing over here. Them songs get stuck in your head. Gotta catch them all.
Right. Yeah, he was belting. Do do do.
Yes.
Um, and I tell you this too. Here's another one. This penetrated all cultures, man. Like black people from where I'm from, like they were singing this, but Nirvana smells like Teen Spirit. Like for whatever reason, that was like the only rock song that for whatever reason, like people who were like, rap inclined felt comfortable singing. You know what I mean? But for the most part, if you were into rock and roll, that was like a suburban thing. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Right.
you had hood dudes like singing Nirvana. I'm like, wait, what? What is going on? So a
Some
couple of things
stuff,
like
some
that in
stuff
our
just
days.
breached. They
Huh?
breached them cultural boundaries. Some of them just breached them cultural boundaries,
Yeah.
like with ease. Anime was one of them, right? I
Yep.
didn't know anything about Dragon Ball. My homeboy put me on the Dragon Ball, like I said, 16, 17 years old, right? I saw it a couple of times appear, but I never watched it. I'd be advertising something like this weird cartoon they do with this crazy hair. I ain't trying to watch
Right.
that. You follow what I'm saying? Once you get locked in, anime is the man's soap opera. That's our soap
Hmm.
opera.
Yep.
You follow what I'm saying? It's the stories that get you. Yes, it's action and stuff, but though I was telling my son the other day, because he's real into anime. Like Kev what it does, this dude has inherited every anime cell in my body. You follow what I'm saying?
Nice. Yeah.
Like This dude Johnny is way more into this stuff than me. I put him on the Dragon Ball when he was like, how old was he? He was about Onyx age, bro, like 1.
Mm.
Put him on early, bro. Now this dude makes Dragon Ball videos and edit them and make storylines and sell them to people and all of this stuff. This dude loves Dragon Ball, right?
Mm.
He watched all kinds of anime. He be hitting me up with, Dad, we need to watch the new anime. He put me on My Hero Academia. He put me on Attack on Titan.
Oh, that was your
You know what
son
I'm
who
saying?
did that. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
He put me on Demon Slayer.
Another
You
good
know what I'm
one.
saying? Like he's crazy, and I'm the one that introduced him to it, right? It's like he inherited all of that stuff. You know, I was really into Dragon Ball. He inherited all that stuff, and it's like them genes passed on strong. You follow what I'm saying? Like strong,
Right.
like and he writes stories like I be typing on my book. He on his laptop typing stories that they play out that because he edit videos and everything, right?
Mhm.
Like the animation for the Dragon Ball fights and all that. They got their own characters, their own sayings, and all of that stuff. It's crazy because I put him on it early and he love it. It's a nerd thing though originally. See, we used to
Yeah.
watch that stuff when people used to get clowned for it,
Yes, sir.
right? We used to like Comic Con and stuff where a bunch of nerds and stuff used to go to. Now everybody, you got LeBron James showing up at Comic Cons and stuff.
Right.
You
It's
feel
like
me?
it's cool now. It's cool now.
Exactly. It's always been cool. They just didn't know. It's
Yep.
always been cool. You feel me? So that's why when people like nerds today, like, is that even still a thing among the young people? Nerds? Are you kidding me? Nerds are the cool ones. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Nerd get stuff done. Nerds is the reason why you got Teslas and all of that stuff. You follow what I'm saying? Y'all better understand, sisters. He might be a little scrawny. I don't think he got to do just hit the gym. Guess
Right.
what?
One Punch Man.
He one
You
punch
know,
man. You feel
100,
me? And he's still
100
smart.
push-ups.
Right. And he's still smart. Y'all better understand, man. Like, I got much respect for the nerds because the nerds make everything we love. You love your
Yep.
iPhone. A nerd made that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all better give respect where respect is due. I love going on Facebook. Nerd, man. He nerds. Y'all better understand it.
And
But
so it's
Isaiah,
like
you
it's a
see
lot of
anything else? Oh,
oh
go
my
ahead,
fault.
Kevin.
Go ahead.
Kevin.
You go to Isaiah. I'll say what I gotta say after.
Yeah, I was just I don't really got no more questions, but I was thinking because I like anime too. Josh, have you
Mm-hmm.
ever seen this one anime called King and Ashura? It's on Netflix.
No, I haven't seen it.
Have you seen this anime called Baki?
Yes, but the original one though. See, that's based on a new one. I saw Baki the Grappler.
Ooh, that's a
That was
that's a classic right there.
that's an old. They've updated it or continued it or whatever. It's just called Baki now. But I know what it's about. It's basically it's basically MMA fighters, but like on steroids. It's it's a little bit more grounded and realistic than you've seen the Kev, but that's the original Baki the Grappler.
Mhm, mhm.
It's a little more grounded. Like they ain't got all these high energy beams and stuff like that, but the action's still off the chain.
Yeah, I've been watching this because I watched Baki too. It's like 3 shows. I think they're all in like supposed to continue each other. I got finished watching that one, and I'm watching this one
Mm-hmm.
called King and Ashura. Baki and King and Ashura had like a crossover, so I wanted to watch King and Ashura before I watched the crossover, and it's good, brother Josh. I'm not gonna lie. Like I like watching fighting animes, like boxing, like where they really boxing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
do you think?
Oh, please tell me you've watched Hajime no Ippo, bro.
I have not watched Hajime no Ippo Kept the Dust. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh my goodness. This man talking about boxing. He didn't see Hajime. Oh my goodness.
I
You gotta
know.
get on that.
Yeah, I don't know if this make me fake or not, but I'm over here saying I like boxing animes, but really the only ones I've seen is Baki and King and Ashura. But man, they so good. I like seeing them so much. I feel like I could say I like boxing anime. But
Yeah, you'll like Hajime, man, because it's super grounded in realism, but it's still an anime. Like you know how these sports animes are like. They
Right.
emphasize like everything. You know, I don't know if you saw dang, this wow, it was a basketball one. This kid with blue hair. I don't know if y'all somebody might in the chat might not remember it.
Kuriko?
Kuroko no basket. That's what it was. Yeah, Kuroko's basketball, right? And it was the same thing. Like this dude, like all he really was, like the main character was an exceptional passer, but everything that he did was elongated and emphasized, and that's just how sports animes are. But what's cool about
Mhm.
Haji, it gets into like the technique. So like, you know, you'll see like when you watch it, it's good, man. It's good. Like if you like boxing and fighting anime, that's kind of more grounded in realism, like Hajime, I think.
Yeah, I definitely, I might watch that next. But yeah, King and Ashura or like Baki, the new one, I would definitely recommend those to anybody who like fighting like boxing type animes. I will give a warning though, King and Ashura does have some tempting scenes in there, so be wary of
What
that.
anime does it?
What'd you say?
I said, what anime does it?
Yeah, right. But yeah,
Except Hamtaro. I told you about Hamtaro trolled me. I told you about that, Kel, but it does.
Say what now?
I told you about how I was trolled by that anime Hamtaro.
Nah, I didn't hear about this.
You know what Hamtaro is, right?
Nah, what's that?
It's this anime about these little hamsters. That's why it's called Hamtaro. And they just, they're living in this house and they just get into all kinds of trouble and stuff like that. And they try to help like this little young girl that don't know what they're doing, right? I say I got trolled by it because you watch anime, you see the little cute, little cuddly character, and you just know he's going to transform into some type of killing machine.
Mm.
So I sat through a whole episode of Hamtaro. I'm like, oh man, it's a lot of them too, boy. They finna turn it up. It is a literal kitty show. I was so mad. I
I'm
was
surprised. I
so
can tell by the animation. I'm like, nah, this look like some goofy kid, Japanese anime that I
it,
would.
it looked like it looked like it looks like probably Pokemon animation.
Yeah.
And they could turn it up on Pokemon. You follow what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It did not. It did not. The hamsters talk and everything. I'm like, what are they gonna do? And I sat through the whole episode, and I'm like, this is a real kid show. Like, and when you say kid show, you got to put quotations on that with Japanese animation because their standard of what's suitable for kids is vastly different from ours, right?
Right.
Vastly different. But when I say kid show, I mean like kid friendly for real. That's what
Yep.
Hamtaro was.
They're
I
out
was like,
there.
I couldn't believe that. They got me good though. Because and guess what Kelbutter does? They put it in the lineup. Remember on Toonami? You remember
Oh my
Toonami?
goodness. Of course I do.
They, they put it in the Toonami lineup. You know they were trolling.
They
Toonami ain't
had to.
got nothing but action anime.
Speaking of Toonami, man, you remember way back they had a crazy lineup. It was Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, think was
What the other
Bleach.
one?
I
Oh,
don't
bo. What that one called?
Bro, I will never watch. See, okay, look, quick thing about that. See, that anime is why people, don't get on One Piece because it's similar animation. And Bobo is
Mm-hmm.
like, I can't. I'm like, bro, like, what is this? This thing is a joke. My man got like a long mustache and nostril hair, and that's how he's
Right,
fighting. I'm good with that. But the animation looked like One Piece, and One Piece is legendary. So yeah,
right.
curse Bobo and that whatever that is, I will never get on board with that. And real
They had
quick, Ruben, oh my fault,
what?
Josh. Go ahead.
I
Nah,
was saying they had
because
that in the lineup.
yeah, they had that. Yeah, Toonami was sick, but Ruben, just because I'm looking at it, my first anime, it was I can't really remember exactly, but it was either Sailor Moon or Speed Racer. I think those are my two first
Oh,
animes I
it
ever
had to
watched.
be Speed Racer. Speed Racer were like around in the freaking 60s, bro.
Yeah.
Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go. I still remember that, right?
Yep.
And you know what's so crazy? We were watching anime in America before we even knew that was anime. It's a lot of anime
Exactly.
that was in America that we were watching and we didn't even know it was anime. You follow what I'm saying? And it got really popular. You know what I mean? Dragon Ball is by far the most popular one to invade the West. By far.
Right.
It's still going strong right now. It's still going strong. Dragon Ball came out in the 80s, y'all.
Yes, it did.
In the 80s. And people still making money, merchandise, doing commentary on it. It ain't skipped a beat. Like people
It's
still talk
only getting
about Dragon
popular.
Ball like it came out yesterday.
Right. Hey,
What you
Billster,
say,
what you
Kev?
know about
What?
this? What you know about Disco Elysium? What y'all know about this? Yo, that because that's a video game. Like, bro, that game was wild, man. My goodness. Somebody mentioned Disco. That's
He
like one
thought
of my favorite.
Inu Yakusha. What you know about that, Solo?
Yeah, what you know about Inuyasha? Of course, I think Solo know. He know. Yu Yu Hakusho is
Yeah.
legit too. Um, but see, the creator of Yu Yu Hakusho also made Hunter x Hunter, so the dude is legendary.
Oh yeah, Hunter. I got to finish that, man. Let me tell y'all something, man. I've been procrastinating on a lot of my anime, man, because I've been trying to get this book done and stuff. Um, I've been snoozing. I ain't even gonna lie, right? I need to finish out My Hero Academia. I need to finish out Attack on Titans. I got to finish out the rest of Hunter x Hunter, kill, because I started watching after the Ant King, right?
Mm,
After he died, right? I'm gonna watch the rest, but after he died, like I had to take a break from Hunter x Hunter because that story was just too impactful. I had to chill for a
yeah,
minute. And I meant to get back around to it, but I just kind of forgot. But what I like the most about that story is that it did not end cliche.
nope.
It did not. It took such a turn, such a twist. I was like, really? Because the Ant King was tough, right?
Hmm.
And for him to develop feelings and emotion like that was a good story. I love some good storytelling. That was some
Yeah,
brilliant storytelling. So when I first seen him, I thought this dude kind of reminded me like a combination of Frieza and Perfect Cell.
yeah.
That's how he
That's a good
kind of
way to
looked. I
put it.
love what'd you say, Kel?
No, that's a good way to put it. Hmm.
Right. And I love the
But
way
not as
his
wooden though.
head looked
Like,
like a helmet.
yeah, like the thing I like about Hunter x Hunter is like you said, the characters are well written. Whereas in Dragon Ball, I still feel like the best villain that Akira Toriyama ever created was Frieza.
Oh yeah,
Um,
hands down.
Hands down, he's the best, most well written character. And I actually think, if I'm remembering right, I think I read an article many years ago stating how Akira Toriyama had planned on Dragon Ball ending after the Frieza arc.
After the
So
Namek saga, yes,
yeah. So
that
it
is true.
makes
Yep.
sense that he was that well written because afterward, like Cell was okay as a villain. Um, and so was Majin Buu, but they none of them really just felt as impactful as Frieza. Like Frieza was tied into to the Saiyans and all of the oppression that, obviously he's pretty much a slave master. That's pretty much what he was.
They call him Hitler. People call him Hitler.
I
That's
didn't
what they
know that.
compare him
How'd I
with.
miss that? Yeah. Oh
Yes,
yeah, that's what they compared to. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, they compare him with Hitler. And see, what made Frieza so epic is that he pushed that first Super Saiyan transformation out of Goku.
Yes, he
You know,
did.
that's what really made him epic. I know when I was watching that stuff back in the day, I think I was like 19 or 20 when I was watching like the Frieza stuff. And I remember, and I got all of them too, even the early Tanami animation, Tanami
Mm.
dub, right? And I'll never forget, boy, when they had Goku in their healing chamber and they were just waiting on him while they were dealing with Frieza. The announcer, hurry up, Goku. They need you. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Real,
You
that
follow what
that
I'm saying?
announcer was part that announcer was part of the show, man. Like,
He
tune
was the
in
hype
next
man.
time. Yes.
And they replaced him when they did the remake. I'm like, this guy to be like, on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, Goku. Like, the announcer just had me just leaning forward like this. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They don't even make them like that. Like, why did they get rid of that guy? You know what I'm saying?
I used to
And I
get
used to
I used to get
hate as a
mad when
kid.
they
Go ahead. You get mad with
exactly.
what?
I was gonna say I used to get mad when they started playing like the end of episodes, so, like music. I'm
That's what
like,
I was just
oh,
about to say. I was just about to say. Let me tell you. Let me tell y'all something. I don't know if I ever told anybody this. When I was 20, 21, I worked at MCI. This was all the way in Alpharetta. I did not have a car back then, right? Me and my friend named Travis, we had to get on the bus. There was like an hour and a half there, and we got off like at 10 o'clock at night. So the buses ran slower. So it was like a hour and a half, 2 hours back, right? I'll never forget this Kev of the dust. Dragon Ball used to come on at I think like on Tanami. I couldn't catch it. It'd come on twice during the day. And it'll repeat the episode later that night, like at 11, right? And let me tell you how serious I was about my Dragon Ball game. You gonna think I'm lying, but this is on God. If my boy Mike was alive to this day, he'll tell you, God rest his soul, right? I used to get off of work sometimes too late to get home in time to watch that Dragon Ball episode because of the bus and the train and all of that, right? My homeboy Mike, he stayed in Cheshire Bridge. That's Buckhead. That one was closer to where I work. I used to want to catch that next episode on Dragon Ball so bad that I would bring a change of clothes to work. I'm not lying, Kevin Dust. I would get off the bus and I would go to Mike's house because I would not be able to make it home in time to catch it at my house. And I would spend the night at his house just so I could watch that episode of Dragon Ball break.
that's
I'm not even
commitment,
playing.
man. I don't doubt it at all. That's commitment. That
Just
was
so I
like
can
an
get that
event.
episode. Right.
And two, like
I had
we
to
were
come over there.
coming up. Oh, my fault. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I had to go over there. Go ahead.
We came up during the time where like streaming videos really wasn't a thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
you really did sit in front of the TV and watch like, the episodes week to week or nightly. I can't remember if it was week to week or nightly. Toonami, that is. I think it might have been nightly.
Right.
Yeah, because I was watching I used to
Oh,
watch
Tsunami was every night. It was every night.
you're right, because like I used to watch Trigun a lot, and I would watch it nightly, so you're right. I'm about to put this in. Josh, I know you remember this. Some of the young folks, they may not know about this. They may not know about this. Hold up. I'm gonna drop this in. They may not know about this, but Josh, I know you're gonna know about this. What y'all know about the Trump promo? What y'all know about the
Oh, I
Trump
remember that.
promo? That was
Oh yes.
hard, boy. That was hard
Yes.
when that came out. Do, do, do,
Do,
do, do.
do,
I
do,
was like,
do,
"Oh my
do.
goodness."
I
That
remember
was
when he
hard. I
first
saw that.
showed up, I was like, who
Yep.
is this dude that's and you know what everybody wondered when Trunks first turned Super Saiyan? What was the question you think everybody asked when they first seen Trunks do it?
Dang, I don't even remember, like,
I mean,
oh,
like,
who's his father? Who's his father? Who's his father?
well,
Is
no, I
that
mean as far as like can he beat Goku? That
oh,
somebody put
yeah.
in yeah. Can he beat Goku? When I first saw that, I was like, can he take Goku?
Yep.
Right? And then Goku comes back and Goku show, man, Trunks wasn't even in the league, man. Cause Goku did
Oh,
that
man.
finger. You know what I'm saying? I remember all that takes me back to my childhood. And I was like, man, like they had you glued to the TV back then.
Yep.
Right. But anyway, we finna go and shut this thing down, man. You know,
Wait,
I've
wait,
been
wait, wait,
letting
wait,
this
wait,
shut
wait,
it
wait,
down.
wait, wait,
Wait. What,
Wait,
Isaiah?
there's more.
What,
wait.
Isaiah?
I got another question. I got another question.
All right.
Uh, okay, so I know we are not supposed to make like obscene or like vulgar jokes, but
Mm-hmm.
is it a sin if we laugh at them?
Laughing is a reflex, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, You can't if something is funny to you and it just catch you like that and you laugh, you know, you can't blame yourself for that, but if it's inappropriate, you got to try to calm yourself down or whatever, right? But you can't help laughing, what I'm saying, instinctively at something. You follow what I'm saying? Like if somebody say something inappropriate, like, and then you realize, man, I need to stop. I need to stop, right? But if you know it's inappropriate, like, and you feeding into it and stuff, no, that would be wrong. But you
Okay.
can't help if you just hear something, Isaiah, and it just make you like a knee jerk reaction.
Okay. And how would you know if a joke is obscene or crude or vulgar? Is it
I mean,
based on what'd you say?
I mean, I think you'll be able to pretty much tell by the nature of the word crude or obscene.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying like is it kind of like with offensive language? Like does it just go more off the group of people or
No, you talk about crude and obscene. That mean they're more like a sexual innuendo or something like that. That's what that's talking about.
okay.
You
Well, okay.
understand?
Okay, so what about like if you was to joke about like something like a something gory or something violent?
No, that's not considered a crude or obscene. Crude or obscene, like crude or obscenities is stuff that like referring to something sexual.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's what that's referring to, right?
All right. All right. I got it. Hey, Josh, another question.
Hold on, I got to get the deuce. He got his hand up.
Okay.
You don't reach your question quota, Isaiah AC. Your question quota. What's up, Deuce?
Can
Deuce
you
Almighty.
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Mr. Maryland himself, Stefan Diggs. What's going on?
Hey, I was wondering like about like the end time, the kingdom and stuff. And I know that like, you don't believe in like
Mhm.
soul sleep and from the scriptures you can't really get soul sleep out of it. But I was wondering like is like heaven like a waiting place until like the resurrection so like they'll come back to earth into the
Yes.
kingdom.
The,
Uh,
the spirits, yes. And reunite with their bodies. Yes.
oh, that's interesting. But like but
And
in
hell
heaven.
is a waiting place too.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you'll come up technically and then and then obviously see the righteous people if you're in hell. Like
Say that again.
and then see the righteous people when you're in the kingdom. Yeah,
You'll
like
see the righteous people when you're in the kingdom.
like if you were in hell and then it's like now you're in the kingdom, right? Because you're not like in the ground, you're not Sheol no more.
No, after Sheol comes the lake of fire, bro.
Uh, well, because I was saying like that word hell and in the end times, that's Gehenna, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If somebody were to die right now and go to hell, right?
Wait, can you say that again? My fault. Someone called me.
I said if somebody were to die right now and go to hell, that's not Gehenna. That's Hades or
No,
Sheol,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's where they're going to wait until the second resurrection.
They're gonna come back up.
Well, if you want to call it them coming back up, their body's going to be resurrected to be thrown into the lake of fire.
But that would be after 1,000 years, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So that would be when. Okay. So after the 1,000 years, staying will be in the earth for what, 5 months?
It doesn't say. It just say for a season. It don't tell you how long.
Oh, I thought it said 5 months. Okay.
Now you think about something else. The torture of the scorpions are going to be 5 months. That's what you're thinking about.
And that's after 1,000 years or before or during.
That's before.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so basically everything I thought that's what it was is right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess
Deuce,
that's
Deuce Almighty instead of Bruce Almighty. Deuce Almighty.
Appreciate that.
No doubt.
Oh, I want to ask Kevin a that's a question.
Go ahead.
Sure thing.
Okay. So Jeremiah chapter 44 verse 18. And I was gonna ask Bro Josh this, but I feel like you be up late, you know what I'm saying? So I want to ask you a question. So it says, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Let me get to it. You said Jeremiah 44.
Yeah, 18 and 19 actually.
All right.
Okay. So I know like in like English and the English translation of the Bible, they always right.
You broke up, Deuce.
Yeah, breaking up on me.
Uh can you hear me? Can you hear me better now? Can you hear
Yeah,
me
you
better
good
now?
now.
Okay. I said so I said I know like in English translation it always capitalizes like Lord or God when it's talking about the most high, right?
Yes.
Okay. So can you explain to me why in these verses 18 and 19 it says Queen of Heaven and it's capitalized? And
In
is it
what
talking
Bible
about the most
version?
high?
In what Bible version are you reading from?
That is NIV.
Yeah, see, I'm reading out the NASB and it's not capitalized.
Nor
Oh,
in the King James.
Yeah.
oh.
But
So
the
I think
thing
it's
about the King James, go ahead. You said something, Kevin. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I just think it's a Bible translation thing.
Yeah,
So
it's a
so
choice.
because from the even the NLT because because my thing was it was talking about like the most high. So like why does it say Queen of Heaven? Who is the Queen of Heaven?
That's one of the
Wait,
pagan deities they were worshiping.
right. When you say it's talking about the Most High, uh, was
No,
your
I w-
understanding that?
no,
Oh, go
I
ahead.
wasn't. No, I wasn't saying it was talking about the Most High. I was just why it said Queen of Heaven because I thought it was actually talking about the Most High.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah, Queen of
Okay.
Heaven is a name for a pagan deity. And a lot of pagan
Um,
deities, goddesses, had that title.
what? So, do you know the specific one I was talking about in just this version or this verse?
Well, you have to look at what pagan country they were dealing with, right?
It was.
It was likely
Egypt.
Asherah.
It said. It
Is that
says.
Egypt?
It says South Egypt.
That was likely Asherah, which corresponds to like Isis and Astarte, you know. All of this stuff was interchangeable. I did a whole class on this particular Queen of Heaven,
Oh,
right?
really? What is it called?
Mhm. What did I call it? I called it Bible gods, something like that,
Okay.
where it talked about the other deities mentioned
Can
mentioned
I
in the
find on?
Bible. I had
Can I find?
volume stuff.
Can I find on Clubhouse or the
It should
radio
be on. If it's anywhere, it's on Blog Talk.
blog talk? I meant.
If it's anywhere, if it's not on that, it's on my external. But Kevin,
Okay.
it does. Do you remember when I did that whole series and I was like Bible Gods Volume One, Bible Gods Volume Two? Do you remember that?
You spent quite a bit of time on that. Isaiah
Yeah,
probably dropped the links in the chat, but yeah, I do remember that.
yeah. That's when I dealt with the Queen of Heaven and all of that stuff. It's not just one female deity. That's a name for all of like in the ancient Middle East. They all had a Queen of Heaven. In
Yeah.
fact, it's funny you mentioned that because the Queen of Heaven is actually related to all this Easter paganism and stuff too.
Well, okay, because in the New Testament, it doesn't call the Queen of Heaven. It just says the fertility goddess, or it just talks about Diana.
I
But
mentioned that too in my class.
yeah, I seen that. I seen the Paul condemns Easter or whatever. I seen that.
hmm
Um, but yeah, it just caught me off guard because I was just reading. I was like, man, let me read all throughout Jeremiah, and then I was reading Jeremiah, and I got to here, and it's capitalized. I was like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
because the translation that you're reading from, they consider that to be a proper title. See, in the Hebrew, there are no capital or lowercase letters.
Yeah, no, I knew that. Yeah, I knew that.
Right. So when the translators of various Bibles translated this, some of them decided to make that like a proper title, and proper titles in English are to be capitalized.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah. That because every time you see gods, especially with the S or even if it's no S, it's always lowercase if it wasn't talking about Yahweh or
You know,
whatever.
there is one time in the Bible where God's in the King James with a capital G has an S on it.
Oh, where is it? Let me see.
You got to do that word search yourself, bro. I just
Uh
know it's in there. You
uh
know, you're right. It's very rare, but it's in there. Just type in God. I can do it on here 'cause I can make it cap sensitive.
yeah, because
That's all I got to do. Case
yeah,
sensitive.
yeah, I can't do that on mine.
Let me see. I can find that for you.
Yeah.
Go to first one time, Kelvin does. Go to 1 Samuel 4:8 in the King James.
Hey, I just read this. Okay.
In the King James. That's the one time. I told you that's why I said, bro, I ain't gonna look for that.
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
it.
that is hyper obscure. You
Yeah.
said was it
Well,
second?
it's two times, but it's in one verse. Yeah.
First,
Let me
yeah,
see.
2 times in one verse, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
That's
that is
interesting.
obscure.
And it's
Very
crazy.
obscure.
And it's crazy because I don't know if you remember, but I told you last week like I started this this Bible group at my at my school.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to teach them, similar to how you teach them or how you teach, us or you taught me or whatever, because I just need this to get out of there, especially because one of them is from Florida, the other one's from South Carolina. I can't talk to nobody out there, so they can. You feel what I'm saying? I
Right.
want them to be able to spread all this good stuff, and and it kind of opened their minds up because the last one I did was is Jesus in the Old Testament, and I didn't go to prophecy or anything. I just went to if you can see any dualism or pluralism, and when we read Genesis 1, I read the first verse, and I also read verse 26 through 27, and it's all plural, like it's all Elohim, you know what I'm saying? And I showed them in the Strongs as well, and it was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Because it's translation, so it's not going to say S on, at the end of God if it's talking about the Most High,
Right.
you know.
But that's why I said, man, that one time in the Bible that I saw it, I remember seeing it one time. That's
Yeah,
why I said, man, one time,
yeah,
So yeah, I definitely found it. I knew it wasn't in there that many times. You follow what I'm saying?
yeah, no, for sure. And but I appreciate it though, yeah. And like, I've been sending you messages. I know you busy or whatever. Um, Wait, what is that? What does Stokes says is I could listen to a podcast by him, but I would talk about Deuce. Thank you, man. But I was saying, like I was sending you, a couple questions, here and there, because I'll be having, I'll be reading the Bible every day, so I'll be wondering, certain things, but just stuff that pops up, and tomorrow I'm going to talk about, like hell, or Gehenna, like in the end times and stuff like that. And I was just wanted to be ready for the question is like having a waiting place. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
but it does. Look what I put in the chat. Click on that. Tell me if you remember that old school promo.
All right, let me see here.
All right, then Deuce Almighty. Deuce.
I
You see
vaguely
what
remember it. It kind of
click
reminds
on
me
it.
of,
Did you click
huh?
on it? Did you click on
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Like, let me see here.
That's the promo.
Oh, yeah, I do remember this. I do.
Yeah. That's the old
Man,
promo, bro. Yes.
even with
That's
the
a
time
throwback.
too. Oh my goodness, he got time in there and all that. You.
Yeah.
This reminds me. What was the Because they used to do motivational like promos, bro. Like, what was the name of that promo? Dang, Toonami. Hold up, Toonami motivational. Let me see here. I'll find it. Maybe not. Oh, Broken Promise.
Remember,
Oh my god. Let me
I remember
see.
they just let
Broken.
you draw pictures and send them in too.
Yeah, they should do that. Yeah, this one right here. Like
Oh, I see.
they used to give life lessons, man. Tsunami used to be something else.
It did, man. Y'all don't, a lot of y'all Gen Zs, y'all don't know what y'all missing out on, man. Y'all getting robbed. Right. Y'all are getting robbed. Y'all need to watch some 80s stuff too. 80s cartoons. They were built to tough you up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Like Twisted and North Star. If I,
Right. They'll know
Twisted,
that's a
man.
whole different generation, y'all. Y'all, that's why we trying to teach y'all. We trying to teach y'all old school. You know what I'm saying? That's what we trying to do. Cause that's what we need to go back to. Cause this woke generation, no, man. Y'all don't need that. Y'all need some old fashioned, old school values with this word how it used to be. Right? That's what y'all need. They try to cancel everything. Can't even say stuff. I can't even be like, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't identify as a lady or a gentleman, thank you. Well, then you need to get
Yeah,
out of my
like
audience.
did you assume my pronoun?
I sure did. Just like I assumed you were breathing.
Right.
You
And I
find
assume
we
you no
we we
longer
make a
want to
lot of
be
stuff.
here.
Right. I assumed you wanted to be here. We need to cancel culture. That's what we need to do. Right? I hope none of them ever come up in here with that. Y'all don't want to see me have a back and forth. I'm gonna shut that down quick. Y'all not want to see me have a back and forth with one of these delusional trannies. Like, dude, you are not a woman. Talking about a woman can be or anybody can be a woman if they just wanna be. They're actually saying
Right.
that. That's what they're saying, Kelba does. If I just jumped up right now, according to them, and say I identify as a woman, I'm a woman. I ain't got to change my clothes. I ain't got to get a haircut. I ain't got to take no hormones. I could be 100% brother Josh. Don't change anything, but just say I identify as a woman. And to them, I'm a woman.
Right. Yeah,
That's some
until you cross
retarded stuff
certain
right.
boundaries.
That's some
Yeah, I
retarded
think
stuff. They don't like to use that word. I'm just kidding. That's some retarded stuff right now.
and people know it, man. That's why like you're getting a lot of pushback um, from people like when it comes to, men competing against women, like the women are standing up like, hey, I'm not about to get the head but I'm not about to get my head slammed in by this dude, who claims to be a woman. Like we're just not doing it. So, the good thing is it seems like a lot of people pushing back because it's dangerous for the
Yeah.
women.
They started to, but you still got these radical feminists that want to include them in it. Yeah, y'all want to include them in it because y'all ain't the ones competing with them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? How about the women that's actually competing in these sports vote on whether they want them in or not? You follow what I'm saying? Y'all and all the non-athletes vote these women in, these trainees in, or whatever you want to call them, right? I don't understand why they don't just create their own league.
Right.
Why do I gotta accept your beliefs? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to force you believe you're a woman. The sport doesn't. Create your own league, the transgender woman league, and just be done with it. I'm tired of these folks trying to push their stuff on us. That's what I'm tired of. I don't care if they want to do it. They want to integrate our schools with that. They got trannies, in Australia reading to little kids in libraries, full drag. You follow what I'm saying? Why would you
Right.
do that? Why do we need you to read a book to us? Story time. They're trying to
Right.
they're trying to get our kids. I'm still trying to figure out why a drag queen would be interested in wanting to read to
Yeah,
a
it's
little
all
child.
about
Why?
yeah, I mean, it's all about trying to corrupt the kids, and like this is why this is I mean, you know, to me, because my wife and I would talk about this type of stuff, quite a bit. And it's just like you can protect your children as best as you can, but at the end of the day, like you gotta rely on God at some point. You just
Yeah.
do. You have to rely on
And
God
homeschool.
because
And
huh?
homeschool.
And homeschool.
And homeschool.
and homeschool. You know. But I don't know, hey, we'll be sending our kids to public schools out here just because I don't got it in me to homeschool. I'm not that
Yeah,
dude. And
that's a full-time job, bro. You can't do that
Exactly.
even if you wanted to. That's a full-time job.
That's what
I,
trips me up, man. When people, oh, I'm sorry. Well, go ahead, Josh. My
I
fault.
was I was just gonna say I wish you didn't have to send them to public school. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, same here. But like, thing that always like, is amusing to me is when people are like, oh, just homeschool your kids. Like, hold up, man. Like, y'all act like it's not a full time job and that you don't need any kind of training for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it, and again, you don't personally have to homeschool your kid. I understand there's homeschooling networks, but you know, maybe we'll look into that. I don't know, but it's one of
And
the
that
reasons.
costs money too, man.
Of course, it does. And that's another thing. So
You
it's
know?
too. It's like, hey, daycare is already expensive. Hey, I need financial relief. Sending these kids to public school. So
Right.
you
See, what they
know,
should do is they should give grants for parents to take their children to charter school and make these charter schools compete for your money. That's how they do with private schools, right? And private schools don't let stuff go. See, when stuff public, it means exactly that, public. You follow what I'm saying, right?
right?
But hopefully, the Trump administration is trying to get rid of all of this stuff. Like Trump said it. Trump said if I get elected, all this crazy transgender stuff. That's why they can't stand Trump. Trump trying to shut it all down.
Yep,
He said it ain't gonna be no drag queens. He said it ain't gonna be no drag queens reading to your children.
right.
He
We not doing that.
said
He's saying,
none of that. Go ahead. What else he said?
yeah, I was gonna say he said Trump trying to ship everybody out. Like he like all y'all crazy Venezuelans that taking over apartment complexes and committing
Mhm.
crimes, y'all getting up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of y'all trannies, your day's done. Like you're not gonna keep competing against women. We're gonna get you
Yep.
away from the children. So yeah, that's what I mean. What Trump has done, like the thing like because people are talking about like this, man, like, oh, like I don't think any politician is gonna 100% agree with what you believe. Like with
Right.
Trump, I think him and JD Vance play too many games on the abortion issue, and that's annoying to me, right? But I
Mhm.
understand why they're doing it. Um, but like it's just the life of a politician, man. Like if you think a politician is gonna 100% agree with you, it's not gonna happen. But hey, I'm just trying to I just remember like, hey man, like, you know, uh can we like not have these people running across the border committing these crimes? Can we not have drag queen story time? Can we not have that? And if a candidate's gonna be, what I mean? Like if a candidate's gonna try to, get rid of that, then that sounds good to me, man. Like I don't really care about his own personal affair. That it got nothing to do with me. So
Right. He sound like he definitely gonna do it. Right. That's why, like, it's been a long time since somebody attempted to kill a president.
real
Y'all know
twice,
that.
you
Right.
know,
Twice. And they don't do that unless they really are afraid of some real change he about to do.
exactly.
You follow what I'm saying? And Trump don't care. That y'all know if I would have got shot at, I probably wouldn't have came back out the house for a minute. I would have been in the bubble or something.
For real. I'm hitting the deck, bro. I ain't getting back up talking about fight, fight, fight. I'm staying low.
Right. At least for 6 months. At
For
least.
real.
Trump went
For
right back out
real.
there. He don't care. The dude, I already think he bought crazy, but you got to be bought crazy this day and age to deal with all this mess. And he be like Trump be cursing at everything.
Yeah, he
When he
don't
be doing his campaign, he don't care. Like he really don't care. But he saying some real stuff. And I really do hope he shut down all this transgender crap, that they doing that they trying to force on us and all this woke stuff. He can't stand the woke crowd too. He lets it know. I can't wait till he do it. If he wins, I'm gonna be out there celebrating when he get rid of that woke stuff. Cause like, thank you. This stuff is
and
stupid.
I think because when I was listening to some stuff earlier this week and people like on the Democrat side, like people within Kamala's campaign are like they're getting nervous because they're feeling like this like Trump support is surpassing his 2016 support and why that's significant is because this time around like I think I think he's gonna take some blue states,
Mhm.
because a lot of black people, and it's really the blacks, like a lot of us, um, like are coming around to
Yeah.
to the fact that, hey, the Democrats, man, they're just not doing anything for us. And not to say, and I don't trust Republicans either. Don't get it twisted, right? But like, blacks, like I remember I was watching some video, like some brothers in Chicago. Um, like this dude is like Arab dude has like a funny YouTube channel where he's like at a gas station, he's always playing pranks on his customers. But one video he was asking people about like who you voting for, and like people like, yo, I'm voting for Trump, bro. Like it's point blank period. And like
Mhm.
we talking about like hood dudes, like what I mean? Like
A lot of
in
African American men are rapidly becoming Trump supporters. I saw that too.
Exactly. And I'm just like, and you understand why. And like when they were asked what are the reasons, it's like, man, we're looking at illegal, we're looking at immigration, man, legal immigration, man. It's taking jobs from us. Like these people coming in our community, taking resources. Also, like, how is it that all these illegals get all this money, but you know,
Medical
uh
care.
yeah, medical care, but black people, we've been here for X amount of years, and we can't get nothing. So like, Lyndon B. Johnson, I mean, he said he would have black people voting Democrat for like the next 100 years, and he was pretty close to accurate. But black people waking up, and I think that's going to show in the polls, and a lot of people are going to be surprised if they're not aware, if they haven't been paying attention to what's going on.
Hey man, that's good, man. I'm glad you've been checking because I've been watching all this stuff too, and that's the same thing I've been seeing. And like I said, when I hear the stuff he be saying, because he's more like you said, we ain't gonna ever have nobody that's just like straight up Bible, but the main stuff that Trump be saying about this Bible and all this stuff, like what we agree with, I'm 100% with him on that. But it's not just that I disagree with him. I like the fact that he's making promises that he's gonna get rid of this crap. It's like some
Right.
King Hezekiah Reformation type jump. You feel me? We finna
For
get rid of the
real.
idols. You feel me?
And like
It got
I
to
was saying,
go.
yeah, and out real quick, I was saying to my wife, like, it's not gonna last long. Like, if Trump get in there, give us a quick four, what I'm saying? Like, give us a little reprieve. Uh Antichrist gonna be here at some point. Like, we're not we're
Yeah, we
not
know
we're
we're gonna
not gonna
lose ultimately.
ultimately yeah, we're not gonna win this thing. I mean, ultimately we will win this thing, but we're not stopping the Antichrist, y'all. Like, it's gonna
Right.
happen.
Not we ain't gonna win on this planet. We ain't gonna win in this
Yeah,
world. We gonna win in the one to
exactly.
come. You
Yeah,
know what I
stealth,
mean?
exactly. Stealth, like can we get a quick breather? Let's get a quick
Right.
breather. That's it.
Right. Can we get, can we get like another 4 years of somebody else like Trump behind him? Because if Trump gets in there, it's gonna create momentum. You follow what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
he's gonna be a tough, if he does everything he says he's gonna do, it's gonna be a tough act to follow, and the next Republican behind him, like the next candidate behind him, he's gonna have to be Trump or better.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's gonna be the
You feel
standard,
me?
man. Like, too many people are awake now.
Right. So exactly, and right. And if it happens, bro, like we're gonna organize the first heterosexual parade,
Right.
pride parade. You know what I'm
Right. We
saying?
we take
I'll,
we're taking back the rainbow flag too. We're taking that back. We're
exactly.
taking it back.
We're gonna call it the covenant. That's what the flag gonna be
Right.
called. I mean the ring gonna be called the covenant. And we ain't gonna be wearing no bright shirts and dancing around. We're just gonna be walking down the street like regular people. Like we ain't even in a parade. We're just gonna be walking down the street like we just chilling.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Handing out like hamburgers and whatnot with our clothes on.
Exactly.
With our clothes on, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? Fully clothed, telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Telling all these crazy people, hey, take that flamboyant crap somewhere else. It's making everybody uncomfortable. You walking around with a full dress on and a beard, dude, something is wrong with you. We don't need to be talking to you. You need to be in the asylum. That's what you need to be at. We got to
Right.
stop affirming delusions. We got to stop that, people. Tell these people they are crazy and let them go. Go on in the nut house. But let me go in and shut this thing down with a prayer, y'all. Y'all know how we do it. Um, bow your heads in reverence to the Most High, please. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Once again,
Amen.
Kev of the Dust, thank you for sticking around late with us and just chiming in on everything, right? Shout out to everybody that came out today. I really do hope y'all learned a lot about how hunger humbles. Shout out to everybody who gave donations today. Good looking out. You know, a lot of y'all have been very supportive, and I know that y'all appreciate what you're learning because you're showing that love back. Special shout out again to Kev of the Dust, man. As y'all can see, man, we got some heavy hitters. It ain't just me at A.B.T, man. We got some heavy hitters. You know, shout out to Kevin J. Right, he had leave early for his 10th year anniversary. So just ask that the Most High just watch over him and his family, and that's a beautiful thing. 10 years of marriage. You know what I'm saying? I wish that upon y'all and more. Right? Don't forget to send in my DM anybody supporting Rusty. I got somebody don't send me like one DM with like 6 or 7 burner accounts showing that he subscribed. Bro, trying to get them 50. He gonna get them 50, man, the way he moving, right? So just show me that you subscribe to him and send me the proof that you did. Do as many as you can, because he's gonna do that giveaway next Sabbath. If there's nothing else, peace to everybody. We are out.